All right. Whew, just in time. All right. Let me jump into this global whitelist meeting.
Well, with this, looks.
Am I capable of
Feel free
speaking?
pretty
to,
prominent.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I can speak. All right. I'm trying to think of a good way to show
Oh my
this.
god, it's so laggy.
There's way too many people in the channel. So it's like hard to show who exactly is
Ooh, that's-
speaking at what time.
All right.
Is there a way to do linked channels? Because it's really hard to see who's actually talking at what time.
I saw that, and no.
Damn.
So, hopefully you guys have a really tall monitor. Anyways, welcome to the meeting. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I know it's Saturday at like the middle of the day, or for Australians it's like 5 a.m., or for
All right,
Europeans
boys.
it's Saturday night.
Let's take a look at
So I
this
know you guys are
shit.
taking your free time to show up here.
We're
and I really
doing
appreciate it.
the whitelist meeting now.
Just some insights. Last time we had a global whitelist meeting was in like October, and we held the meeting in secret because I wanted people to be able to speak their thoughts freely without fear of getting hated on later on down the line by the rest of the community. And
All right, working.
what ended up happening was there was like a second meeting that was held, and someone leaked a screenshot from that. So it kind of defeats the purpose of having a secret meeting if everyone's gonna know who's in the meeting anyways. So this time it's public. Also got a lot of feedback last time that you guys wanted to be able to see what was going on in the meeting.
Protect
So,
TF2
for
diversity.
those of you guys
All I
who
can do is
have
speak
really
for
strong
myself,
opinions that
man.
might not be popular, I'm really sorry about that. I won't be able to protect you from people knowing who you are and what your opinions are. But I also think that if you really believe something about the direction of the game, you should speak up. So today's meeting, we have a soft
I don't think it's
cap
gonna be too
in
long.
1
To be
hour.
honest.
So at 1 o'clock, I'm gonna remind
Okay,
everyone
1
that we
hour.
need to wrap it up. But I have a hard cap at 2 hours. So we're just gonna no matter where we're at in 2
All
hours,
right.
I'm just gonna call it.
How do I prevent
Everyone's gonna be
this
free
shit
to
from?
go. The people
Is there a
here
way
that
to
are the real
go
decision
like
makers are the
audio
admins.
only, like not show the
So
text
they're just
bullshit?
volunteering their time to listen to the community.
Can
Ultimately,
I
they make
change
the
which
call on
text
what
channel
the
I'm in?
unlocks are for their respective leagues.
There we go.
But I mean, the
I'll
goal
do
of this
this.
meeting is to get everyone on the same page around the world.
There's
The
6
goal
Uncle
is to get
Danes.
everyone around the world to use the same exact whitelist. I don't think that's a very unpopular opinion. I think everyone kind of agrees that we should all be looking to use the same whitelist. The debate is around
Just 'cause
which
mic is on
specific unlocks
permanently.
should and shouldn't be allowed in that whitelist. I think the nice part about this second meeting is that we're not starting from scratch.
Increase
We
Discord
already have a
volume.
whitelist that
I can
everyone
hear it
kind of
just
agreed
fine.
on for the last 4 months or so. But this is an opportunity for you guys
Actually, I
to
don't
give your
wanna
feedback
go
on
in there
that
'cause it might
whitelist,
leak
and
secret
then kind of go from
things.
there. This isn't like a permanent whitelist. There's by no means set in stone. Last time we unbanned the atomizer and the base jumper, you guys scrimmed on it for 2 days, and then we unbanned it. So I think people are fairly flexible. This shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's not a life or death situation. It's just a simple matter of let's get everyone on the same page. So with that, I'm going to open up the conversation to whoever has the strongest opinion in the room.
The strongest opinion.
Don't think anything needs to be changed, if I'm perfectly honest.
Turbo.
And the Sandman. And the guillotine.
Unban?
Unban?
Yeah, unban it.
No.
Why not?
Quality
The
discussion.
Natasha's unbanned.
Yeah, the Natasha should be banned as well.
I mean,
And
we
then-
already have moving weapons in the whitelist. Why wouldn't we add more?
I think Natasha's pretty bad.
Ooh, try.
Not that strong.
No, it's like pretty nuts. Like, you get a buff and you sit in your spawn door revved up. This is like on maps that you can shoot the point from spawn. And then if the enemy shoots you, you walk into spawn and hit your reset bind. And if the enemy doesn't shoot you, they're getting slowed down as soon as their Uber ends. And then the DPS on it is still pretty high. I was doing it in scrims to 20B, like every single last push. And if they tried to focus me, I never died. And if they didn't, I fucked on like their
Let's
F
look up
It's
logs.
just retarded, but it's allowed.
Let's look up those matches he's talking
Isn't
about.
this slowdown scaled down on how far away you're from the enemy anyway? So like, you should only be slowed down considerably if you're close to him, in which case you should die anyway, because
I think
it's
it's
a
the same
heavy
on all
close to him.
distances.
Yeah, but you don't. As soon as like they can get close to you and you don't die because you can just reset like the
'Cause, like,
respawn bind.
90% of the time, they're gonna go close to you because you're near the spawn door. They're like, oh, I think I'm gonna kill this
So
heavy.
they
but
lost
don't realize
every
that heavy is
scrim
like
to 20B.
pretty much by the spawn door, and you can just
Interesting.
resub or click his resub bind.
I think I might have started this conversation in the wrong direction. Let me try a different way. I think that we should probably do the least amount of work here and just keep the whitelist relatively similar to last season's whitelist, which was about 22 weapons. Does anyone want to make any massive changes from 22 weapons, or are we just nitpicking 1 or 2 weapons here and there?
Okay, why have we decided that unbanning weapons is good? Because I feel like you made that decision,
Sure.
and like I don't think many people agree with it, and I don't see any reason why unbanning a lot of weapons is good.
Yeah, it's no
Okay.
need at all. The weapons.
Let
are
me
banned.
tackle that question then. So last time we did this, I actually didn't select any weapons. I like projected my ideas. I said that we should ban like a ton of weapons. There's a ton of stuff that's been banned for no reason. And then that was kind of it. For example, there's a bunch of weapons in there that are not hurting the game, like the Fan of War, for example. I mean, you might go in here and say, what's the point of unbanning the Fan of War? No one uses it anyways. I was like, look, what's the point of banning it for no reason? I think that we should just try and unban stuff. That was my general approach.
I agree with that approach.
So what is that?
So if you
what is that
if you
game?
want to ban the Fan of War just because people don't use it, I think that's kind of a silly policy. I think we should just try and ban as much stuff as possible
Can
and
I
keep
ask
a
a
smaller
question,
blacklist.
Flynn?
Sure.
Can I? What's the point of a whitelist? Why do we have one?
Because the devs are fucking awful.
So the reason why we have it is because people don't like playing with certain items. For example, we unbanned the base jumper last season, and then everyone just like didn't want to play competitive anymore. With in a
Wait,
world where the base
I know a
jumper
lot of
is
people
why
are
stop playing?
That's why we
like
have it.
talking about the last Face game I played.
So
I'll
who's
talk to
everyone?
you guys about that after this, but I don't want to like
Nice work,
distract
Alex.
myself. I
Huh?
want to pay attention
Like
to this.
4 NA teams would have died if the base jumper was allowed.
Do you know that?
What?
Do you know that for sure?
I know my team would have died. Was told Meat Market would have died.
But my
Especially
point is, what is the purpose of a whitelist? Like, why do we have one in the first place?
because the weapons aren't balanced for competitive play. So
Okay,
if you
who's
want to
balancing
play
it?
competitive,
Who's balancing competitive play? Are we doing it? Are Valve doing it? Is ETF2 doing it? Is ESEA
Valve's
doing it?
not doing it.
It's a
that's
little
for
bit of
sure.
both,
I
man.
think the real answer is just stuff people don't want to play with, which is perfectly fine. I think. Like,
That's the point. I don't mind if we have unlock a whitelist that's very open, or if it's not very open. But I'm really confused what the purpose of a whitelist is. Like, some people want to balance the game modes to fill it in with their
I don't
vision.
think it's that. I mean,
Some people
maybe
don't want to
some
balance
people will
it.
say that, but
Some people think some weapons are overpowered. Some don't. Some don't follow the same logic as others. It's just a mess.
It is a mess. And last time we had this meeting, we had like specific rules that we were going by about what items we were banning and
Well,
unbanning.
give us the rules and
Well, that's what
then
we spent the first
let's
15
make sure they
minutes.
follow it. What are the
Yeah.
rules?
So could you remind us, Lynn? Or are we
don't
discarding
remember.
those rules?
Problem.
They're in
but the
the
rules have to be something along the lines of like
They're in the
we
article,
just want
if
to
you
unban
recall.
as much stuff as possible. That was the goal. The goal was to unban as much stuff as possible and only ban stuff that
I'll
was
fucking
truly
look it up,
game
dude.
breaking.
Okay, so what's a game breaking weapon?
Something that
Critical.
Well, you can't explain what it is. So how do we know that we should ban it? You need to explain it.
Here, I
Well-
posted the link in the group chat,
Yeah,
rather, the channel chat, that had the outline of the rules, essentially. It's down at the quote at the bottom. Essentially, it says,
mean-
if it was glitched, we banned it. If it was strongly undermining skill-based play, if it dramatically changed the concept of 6v6 or specific classes, and is it overpowered? I guess those were the main criteria. I don't think anywhere in there was, is this slightly annoying, a criteria, and I think that that was a good decision not to include that.
The other point is that my only real purpose in this meeting is just to get everyone to use the same thing. and I don't want a situation
Mr.
where
Zach, why can I
Europeans want
talk
that,
about this?
'cause
What do you mean?
North Americans want
It's
that. I
a
think we should
it's a
just
discussion. I can't
all use the
just
same
talk
thing.
the
So
whole
past
time.
that,
You
I
know what I
actually
mean?
really don't care what we do. That's why I want to leave it up to you guys to discuss with the admins or whatever you want to do. Like, ultimately, you guys are the ones who have to play with it at the end of the season or at the beginning of the season. So
I don't think anyone wants to unban anything. Like, I think people, the stuff that's banned, people are pretty happy with leaving them banned. There might be some discussion about allowing some stuff, but I would say I feel like everyone agrees with what's been banned already, so we don't need to cover that
yeah.
anymore.
So I'll counter that, Turbo, by saying that last season there were over 55 weapons banned in ESEA, and this season we unbanned like 30 of them. And I think we
Hello,
still ended up with a pretty good season in
Astrodog
TF2.
Guy, face
So I
points
think
for an
people
unusual.
are scared to unban
I
stuff.
have enough, yeah.
But for example, what
Sorry,
the
I'm not really
developers
gonna
want, I
be
just
answering
don't think it
questions
would
in
be
chat.
significantly game breaking.
I'm gonna
Well,
be focusing
it
on this
had a
meeting,
bug,
and we can
but
talk
now it was
after.
fixed, so no reason
now
not
it's
to unban
fixed.
it.
Well, that's what someone, I don't know who was saying earlier, but someone was questioning like, why should we even unban such a thing if no one's going to use it? But I just think we should unban stuff in general.
So what is? I still don't. What's to gain from unbanning weapons? Like, what's to
Here,
gain from
I
unbanning
can talk about
borderline
this.
weapons?
Here, all right. A lot of unbans will expand what off classes can do, and I think that that's something that makes the game more interesting and fun. And also a lot of items that have been unbanned recently that got actual competitive testing were later balanced by Valve to be more in line when they were already like borderline, maybe slightly overpowered. And there's a few items that I would say fall into that category, but they're by no means game breaking. So by playing with them, we only gain to understand them better and to work towards getting them rebalanced to be properly, like competitively balanced.
I mean, I
Does it-
agree with you, Benny, but I want to play devil's advocate. How does it make it more fun for some people? Because a lot of people complain that it isn't fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I agree.
I mean, someone's can argue for it not being fun during like at any point in time.
But you just argued for it being fun. So what's the difference?
Well, yeah, I guess it's just a matter of what you value more. I personally think like the like variants and different strategies being viable, allowing different playstyles to be viable is a worthy pursuit.
Does it? I don't think it allows like a lot of unlocks just make the off classes better. Like you have the Machina, so before you had to hit people in the head and you couldn't shoot through people, and now you can shoot through people and your body shots do more damage. But it's not like you're playing differently on sniper. You're still scoping in and shooting people,
Yeah,
but sometimes
I agree.
your shot goes through someone and kills a medic behind him.
The Machina
like,
could
what is that
definitely
adding?
use a lot of
I see what you're saying.
changes, but like if the Machina, now that we've played with it, like you could argue for banning the Machina, but now we've actually played with it, so we can provide feedback to change it. But
I don't
there's
think
a
that's-
lot of other items that are currently banned that we actually have never tested. Even the atomizer and base jumper weren't really thoroughly tested until they were considered unbanned, and those 2 days of using them generated like a ton of experience that we could actually use to like give feedback on how these items are affecting competitive gameplay. And there's so many other items that are on the list that are in that borderline situation or have been changed and not been tested. There's like 6 items that I think could be like given a second chance or another look, which would be like Quick Fix, Pomson, Sydney Sleeper, Soda Popper, things like this. I think
Isn't Thompson bugged or?
I'm not sure, to be honest, but it was at one point, I think.
This season, though, Valve didn't do anything with any of the like weapons that we played with. There hasn't been.
That's not true.
When was the last update that like changed item properties?
The last major rebalancing update was the Meet Your Match update, which was in July.
Right, and this season started in like a
Well,
lot after that, and then we unbanned a bunch of stuff, and now nothing's happened. Like we just played a
Well-
whole season, and then there's a whole off season, and nothing has been rebalanced from that. So
Yeah, they
to
they
say
do it
that-
during their major updates, which the next one we know is coming soon. Which
How
makes this
soon
more
is
complicated. Well, this year we know it's coming this
I
year.
mean, you
this
think
year
they're
is so
gonna
incredibly vague. It's January.
Yeah, but
What?
no one knows the release date.
Yeah, that's the
Manny-
thing. We can't count on Valve actually doing anything because they never tell us what's going on. So to just unban like borderline weapons, if the argument you're using is that we're unbanning them so Valve can rebalance them based on feedback, if they're not gonna even acknowledge that they're using that feedback and do something with it, like that's
But
just not a good
they
argument.
are
Because it's
literally go look at the Meet Your Match update notes and look through all the item changes that were relevant to competitive, and you'll see things like Cozy Camper, Iron Bomber, Quick Fix, things like
But
that
they
being
didn't-
changed.
they didn't do anything. They did that on their own. Like they
No,
didn't
they
do that
didn't.
because we were playing with it.
No, you're wrong. I'm sorry to say. They did
Manny,
it
do you know
100%
something
based
that
on
we
feedback.
don't?
Who's that?
I am the UGC admin.
Do I know something
Curious.
you don't know? I already told you what I know. Valve listens to
It's just-
competitive feedback.
It's just that the rest of us haven't really seen that directly.
I think what he's trying to ask is where do Valve get their feedback from the competitive community? Like where do they get it from? Do they get it from you directly, or do they browse our forum?
Yeah, they browse forums. Like they've
Oh god,
said
they
this kind
do.
of stuff.
That's so.
I mean, everyone should know that Valve is like paying attention, but they're just not participating necessarily in the conversation, which is maybe frustrating. But I mean, I've reached out to them and offered many suggestions, and I would encourage everybody to do that too.
So they read Mookie posts.
They read what?
They
Mookie
read
posts.
TFTV, like you've seen them post on TFTV.
Yeah,
But
and
TFTV isn't the only place.
sending emails and
exactly.
things like that, making Reddit threads, like all these things have impact.
Yeah, I sent them an email, and I can tell you guys, Doman is getting a shotgun within the next 4 months. I'm
Okay,
telling
so
you.
like in the Meet Your Match update, they buffed the Sydney Sleeper, which has been banned in sixes for like years. So
Mhm.
do they really give a like there's a bunch of stuff here that's like either weapons that are banned just getting
Well,
useless
even the
changes.
Sydney Sleeper is banned, like, somewhat on that principle of this is an unfun weapon. It's not necessarily banned because it's game breaking or overpowered. You know what I mean?
But Girardi's unbanned now. Why not unban the Sydney Sleeper now? It's
Sure.
the same mechanic.
Except you can do it at range.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Why is that
disagree.
fine? Why is it
I-
fine that you can do it for range instead of close up? That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
The point is, why not test it in some fashion? You know what I mean? And there's a lot of
There's
items that
nothing to gain from it. Like, look, July 7th, 2016, the patch came out.
hmm
So we're like
I think
pretty far removed from that time now.
what Sam is trying to say, and what a lot of people are trying to say, especially in chat, you can like people are saying, why don't you just be patient? But like you can't just wait 1 year because it is. It's going to be probably like one per year is what it's seeming like almost as of now because we don't know. You can't just wait one time per year to have like 5 weapons that we use or want to use.
So what do you
fixed.
want to do with the whitelist? Do you want to like? I guess judging by the way you're speaking, is you want the whitelist to be how you want to balance the game.
Pretty similar to how it is, except like I guess Rescue Ranger, for example, if you want to get into specifics, because
Yeah,
can
get
pick
into
individual weapons.
specifics.
That's not a big.
Tear
that's
your
not a big deal.
argument down.
Because of the spawn thing, how you can sit and spawn, you can say like it adds more versatility to off-classing to NG specifically, but how is it really like fair or strategy to sit and spawn and Rescue Ranger a sentry across like the other side of the point? Like you can literally sit and spawn in some maps.
How's it fair to
The
sit
weapon's
as
awful.
a sniper and snipe people from across
Because
the
you
map?
have to aim to play sniper.
there's plenty of
Like-
risk associated with placing a sentry forward.
It's obviously better though. Like 90% of the time, it's a more optimal position to put your sentry. I can't think of a single. I legitimately cannot think of a single place that you can put a sentry that would be better than close up behind a corner. If you can sit in the spawn, I'm saying. For example, on the sunshine maps, if it's close rather than far, that means that the that you can spam it much harder rather. Sorry. So I don't
Actually,
really
you
see how
can
that.
you repair your sentry better with a wrench than with the
Yeah, but
rescue
they
ranger.
don't. Yeah, I know, but they don't know it's there until after, like at least 30 to 50% of the Uber is
Why?
wasted.
Why not?
Why? Because it's in the corner.
That's why you scout it out and get
Yeah.
information before you push.
This is completely like the user error, what you're describing.
I mean,
And even if you
situations
see
like-
the sentry, like you just use the same number of stickies as you always did, and it
I mean, it
gets
happens
destroyed
here
instantly.
so often.
There's
I don't really
no
know. It also happened like last season in grand finals. I'm pretty sure too against your team.
Yeah.
I'm
So I don't
gonna
really
try
know.
and make
Like
some
that
progress
same
here.
thing.
The
So I'll be
Rescue
arguing
Ranger?
like this.
Cool.
with no
That
point.
means we
Like,
fucked up, man.
so
I'm not gonna
why
like.
do you want to?
There's another unlock for
Jesus,
it called the
man.
lock and load. Corsa.
Why do you
Also,
want
there's
to
a direct hit.
promote gameplay that's sitting in your spawn door, holding mouse one at a sentry? Like,
But
Yeah,
that's
that doesn't feel like
Isn't that what
competitive
gameplay is?
TF2.
no, that's
Like
Isn't
that's
that
just a
sitting
core part of
stationary in your
TF2.
spawn door.
Like if that was the logic, you'd be arguing for banning sniper and heavy as well, or literally like it would disable your mouse one if you're in spawn. Like, are these this is the train of thought that you're going on right now?
I think the goal of competitive TF2 should be like high skilled players do well, and you don't want things that compress the difference between
I mean,
good
is your
players and
team
bad
gonna beat
players.
EVL like
Well, what Sam is trying
because
to
you
say
have
is
the
that it's the
fucking
combination
like
of
rescue
both.
ranger? It's not gonna make a difference.
It's not just sitting in spawn. It's the combination of sitting in spawn and it being easy to aim.
Like, so when we
So-
play EVL, it doesn't. The Natasha and the rescue ranger, it doesn't do anything, but it makes them fail half their last pushes.
Well, I mean, I just looked up the logs of the scrims you referenced against 20B, and you lost every single one of them. So I really don't see it having that big of an impact.
Alright, we don't have to make this personal.
I
This
don't
is-
think I don't think you should argue with results because no matter what, because the whitelist affects everybody. A team that was better than another team is still going to remain better than another team. That won't or matter. I think the problem is that the results are like not the results. The whole gameplay is slightly slower because of that mechanic.
Gameplay's slow anyway.
Yeah, but the gameplay is
That's not
still
an
slower.
argument though.
That's not, yeah, the
Like-
gameplay is still slower. Even
So
if the
you
gameplay.
want the whitelist to speed up gameplay?
No, what the see, I don't
whitelist.
what I don't really care what happens with whitelist. All I want to do is play a game I like. And so far, like I think everybody's on two different pages about what they want out of the game. One side of TF2 wants it to resemble more like the actual game. Like I think Banny and Mr. Slyn want as much as TF2 available in like the version we play. When you got people like Sam and Corsa who want to play a game that they 100% enjoy. And they think the unlocks take away from that, while Swin and Benny want the unlocks to resemble more of what
Well, no,
everybody
I
else
don't
plays in.
mind. I don't mind these things being unbanned. It's just like specific things like the rescue ranger.
I don't mind
Yeah,
things
I
being
think
unbanned.
specific things are fine.
Just
My
stuff that
whole
I
thing
don't
is like,
like
let's not
banned.
go out of our way to ban stuff.
That's what you're saying. I don't mind things being unbanned, but I just things I don't like. Can you ban them, please? So that's what you're saying.
Can we unban Soda Popper, please?
I mean,
agree.
it's not just me. It's like 90% of the people who play
That's
competitive.
what you're saying. Yeah, it's just the argument. I don't mind unlocks being unbanned, but can we ban things?
It's,
that
it
I
might
don't
be
like?
my argument, but it's everyone else's argument.
But then everybody likes different things.
But no, like you can read the forums and literally see that. It's an arbitrary number, 90%. Most people do not like playing it, or not just not like it. They think it's not a very intelligent concept to have the rescue ranger in competitive.
Can we not like talk about the rescue ranger? This is not gonna get us anywhere.
All right.
I think the original purpose of the global
Excuse me,
whitelist. when
excuse
I
me.
appreciate-
Excuse me, let me
Grant
talk.
was
Thank you. I think you're gonna ban Rescue Ranger after playing against Crowns Atlan.
Depends if they win.
Yeah, you will actually.
Well, I
to be
mean,
fair.
having
don't
this
think you're gonna win
conversation
anything. Good luck,
during
Mac.
Alright,
like
so
before
anyways,
an event is also kind of hard to call.
The Rescue Ranger
So-
is AIDS, dude. You should definitely like. It just makes the game really stalematy, and like
It's
if that's what
impossible
you
to
want to
see who's
watch, like it's
talking.
not fun to play, and it's not fun to actually watch the
Turbo,
game.
The game is
this
still
is a completely pointless conversation, guys. There's like 5 weapons in the game that'll break the game, and just to argue over
This
the
is the
broken ones are just
only
gonna not get us.
conversation that matters. We're only going to be everybody already knows the weapons that are on the fence. So the decision is, do we allow the weapons that are on the fence or not?
Yeah, it's still worth talking about the.
That's the important discussion. I can't
Yeah,
think of anything else.
there's no point in talking about the Rescue Ranger because we're gonna ban it anyways. Like the
Wait,
atomizer's
How
not
is
gonna
the
get unbanned next
banning
season.
gonna even be
No,
handled? Like, is
I
it gonna
mean,
be
some
voted
people
or?
think the Rescue Ranger should be banned.
Some, like majority, thinks that the Rescue Ranger
I think the
should be
majority think the Rescue Ranger should be banned.
But
It's
how are you
ridiculous.
gonna
I don't wanna-
actually tally
my
those
goal
numbers?
isn't-
That's what I'm curious about.
It's gonna be a very difficult meeting if we just try and like go really hard one way or the other. I'd rather make it a slow process and just start with the low hanging fruit. Let's just unban the really easy stuff that is like a no brainer to unban. So, anyways, the point of the last global meeting, we said that like we had an open communication with Valve and we could like give them feedback on weapons. Like it's all in there. Like we went to Valve and talked to them about those weapons, right? So I agree with like a lot of people here. Like you want to have fun with your game, and there's also a very strong possibility that Valve will not implement vast sweeping changes to like weapon unlocks in the next 6 months. So let's just leave the really, really broken stuff banned, like the Rescue Ranger, like Atomizer, like Base Jumper, and then
Yeah,
let's
let's
just
look at
look
this
to
thing.
unban some other stuff and keep the whitelist relatively the same size. Is that agreeable?
How about the
So, like, we
Delocos
would
bar?
shrink it
That's a
from-
good one to
we would
start
shrink
with.
it from like, yeah, we could shrink it from like, I don't know, 22 items down to like 12. And I'm sure there's some stuff in there that you guys don't like, but there's also some stuff that's really not a big deal. Like maybe you guys will complain about the cleaver, but maybe you wouldn't complain about Fist of Steel. Or maybe you complain about the Fist of Steel, but you wouldn't like the, I don't
So
know,
you're just
this,
gonna ban
that
stuff
steak
that
sandwich.
people complain about. That's it. Just ban stuff if someone complains about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then
So
once we
let's
get
ban
down
the
to a list of
crossbow
like
then.
8 weapons,
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, man. Like,
Let's ban the crossbow.
or gunboats, like Kritzkrieg. Anyone
Well, that's
could
the thing.
generate like a
That's why I don't-
argument against any of these items.
that's why our criteria last time was not to like have someone complain about it and then we ban it, because someone is always going to complain about something. The idea was just let's just ban like super game breaking stuff, and if everyone agrees Rescue Ranger is really game breaking,
Is it though?
Yes, it is, because you can just sit and spawn and fucking
It's-
arrow your
it's not
sentry, and then
game
you can just
breaking.
the sentry goes down and you just switch off immediately instead of being in the firing, like instead of being in the line of fire for taking rockets.
It's not game breaking.
Like
It's
honestly, before when you ran NG, you had to be like close range, so you can hit it with your wrench. So like whenever the enemy team like Hubert in, they had to like while they were shooting the sentry, they were also shooting the engineer at the same time. But when you have Rescue Ranger, you just sit and spawn, and
I kinda
just
see-
shoot your gun.
Yes, that is
Just
how
give
the
me- let me ask
weapon
you this,
works,
like,
but that is not game breaking.
has the Rescue Ranger ever changed the course of a match?
Yes.
Like has it
Yeah.
ever
Yeah.
upset who would
Are,
win?
Yes.
are you
We-
single? Are you single deading the sticky or the sentry gun?
No, like he
Oh,
can just fucking take it away. Like I'm not fucking stupid. I played that one for fucking.
So if he
since I
picks up the
started on TF2.
sentry and he has,
Bec-
what is he gonna do?
Yeah, he can rotate to the fucking other side of the spawn.
So
and
you
place
could
down
shoot
again.
him when he's mini crit like marked
Yeah,
when he picks
inside
it
the
up.
spawn. Yeah, great.
Okay,
behind the
and then
wall.
he resets the
That's
sentry, so he's
fantastic.
completely out of the fight for 10 seconds. So what are you doing during that time?
Have you ever been in a process last spawn, Benny?
In a what?
In like process
Yes,
last spawn.
I've been in there.
The rotation from one door to the other takes like 3 seconds.
hmm
Wait a minute.
And then you
Doesn't
set up the sentry and it's building, so it's not doing
Wait,
anything.
hold on.
Also,
Yeah,
you're
while
peeking the
it's building,
door
it's
with mini
regenerating
crit.
health.
But you're peeking the door
Wait, you
while
ca-
marked for death, so it's extremely risky to pick up your sentry whatsoever, first of all. And the time it
It's still
takes to
better than
reset
dying
it up.
instantly.
Yeah, but it's also better to just switch off the class, so it honestly comes into play almost 0% of the time.
What's the difference between having a NG hide and spawn with a sentry than having a demo hide and spawn with stickies on the point?
You can shoot the sticks.
Well, the stickies won't constantly shoot at you as you walk at the stickies.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Hello, Exploit. Thanks for the
if you walk on them.
donation, man.
Yes.
You just got a
okay,
debit card.
if
Take
you're
your
not
money.
walking
Nice,
into a
man.
fucking sentry
I don't have a
gun.
debit card right now,
The concept's
so
the
I'm
same,
kind
like,
of
the
jealous
point
now.
of hiding
No,
the
it's not.
spawn-
I'm waiting for it to come in the mail because
listen
my
You
last
can
one
shoot a rocket
expired.
at the sticks and they go flying.
is you buy time for your team. That's why you hide and spawn, so you don't die. And you can use something to buy time for your team. That's why people use the sentry gun. That's why you hide and spawn with stickies on the point.
All right, so first of all, is don't hide and spawn sticks at one point. It's usually a very dumb idea. But outside of that, so if you have a scout who decides off-class to engineer, he get on process loss, for example, on the left side, right next to the point, he decides to put the sentry gun. Now he's sitting inside a spawn inside a shutter. He's constantly shooting his rescue ranger bolts at the sentry gun. Now the sentry gun is down. He gets to go back to scout immediately, and he's immediately ready to fight. A demo man puts stickies onto the point. The demo man does literally nothing except shoot pipes that are very unlikely to hit 6 other members of the enemy team. It's like
What?
it's not the same exact
There's a
situation.
million ways that things could go wrong in TF2, but the Rescue Ranger doesn't like necessarily make that worse. You could destroy a sentry just as easily with stickies. Like, it doesn't actually change anything about the sentry surviving 90% of the time.
I agree with that. It's pretty much just the fact that you can heal it from a far distance. That's it. That you can put it in a corner and make it more difficult.
Yeah,
to
remember,
snipe.
guys, it's not
That's
just.
all.
I would say
stickies,
it's
there's
easier to
lots
destroy a
of
sentry that's closer to you than far away, in my opinion.
It is, to be honest, because the ground you have to take to get to the sentry gun, it's a lot less and easier, or it makes it harder to kill. There's not only that, there's not just stickies, but rockets too, boys. Remember that weapon? Wow, rockets. They
The
do
actual
damage to
placements. Okay, if you want to get into specifics here, actual placements. Sunshine last, like in the
Oh,
middle.
yeah. See, that
then-
depends too. Like,
Don't
that
you enjoy each
depends.
other,
But
rivals,
if you
not
put it, the sentry
haters?
on the right
What do you mean,
side,
Pedro?
okay?
Who?
From the pushing perspective, you put it on the right side, and you push from the right. You're
Insomniac. If I
already
could add a
there,
map,
like
what would
by
I
the
add?
middle of the push, and you can kill
Cardinal.
the sentry with pretty easily. If you put it behind the corner, behind the point, by the time you get to that same exact position, by the time you're already committed in the push, it's the same distance away from you. Like 90% of the time, those places are like almost the same distances where they are relevant to the damage being dealt to the gun.
All right, boys, let's have a more productive discussion other than the rescue ranger. How about that?
Agreed, because
Is it Demo Man deserve a Glock?
84%, I think it was.
Because right now
that-
this is
that
Donald.
can be
This is
banned.
like the presidential debate that happened
No,
a couple
it's
months ago.
just still unclear how decisions are being made. Like, is it a vote or is it like the feel of the room, or like what's going on? How are these decisions actually
It's
being
up
made?
to the Slid said it was up to the admins.
So the
to-
admins are voting. Is that what's happening?
Well, it's up to them how they run their leagues.
And like, UGC has 2 admins, ESEA only has 1. So like, how are we making this a fair situation?
No, like
That's what I don't know.
every admin is in control of their league. So
I mean-
try has to make the ESCA whitelist according to ESCA's rules.
Okay.
I mean, this discussion is just apparently ideas to give them.
So ultimately, we should be hearing out the admins and trying to sway them.
Good point.
I'm just trying to get a
What do
feel
you
of
think?
what people think.
Get it? Trying? Ha ha.
I mean, I agree with Try. I think it's good to get an idea of how people think, but
Okay.
ultimately
So
to make a call.
I think like the Rescue Ranger part is obviously controversial, but I agree with Slyn. Like, if there's things that everyone can agree on, then we should start focusing on those right now. Like things to unban if there's anything. Looking at the
Yeah, put it
list,
together a list.
I think the first one to ask about would be
Delica's Bar.
the Locos Bar.
Well,
Right, and because they
the
fixed
main
glitch,
point, it was the glitch. Now it's fixed. I don't think there should be a reason not to unban it.
Wait, what was the glitch about it? I forgot.
I think you
you
could
like-
keep your
you, like,
health
run
if
it
you
as well.
switched classes or something like that.
Yeah, you eat a chocolate and a spawn, you switch classes, you have like 180 health and scout in this one.
Yeah, but I stayed as a buff, not as like actual permanent health. In case someone
Yeah,
confused.
That's
There's no reason to ban that.
Yeah,
weapon.
it should be unbanned.
Unban it.
Cool, there's one.
Great.
All right, what about the Pomson 6000?
OP.
Okay.
No, people don't. Everyone still thinks it works like it did on release. It no longer penetrates targets.
Yeah, no, I'm
In
just
the
joking.
Uber drain is based on how far away you are. I believe across Badlands, like last, if you're in your spawn shutter, it'll drain like 1 or 2% Uber on someone.
I
So
think
the
it draws
chance
like
of it,
0 at
The other
highest.
thing to consider with
yeah.
this is that if the Pomson's allowed and the Rescue Ranger is allowed, it would, like, one or the other would probably be run. But if you ban Rescue Ranger, everyone's gonna run Pomson. It would create a little bit of a a choice for the engineers. I think map choice maybe or playstyle choice, which could
Do
ease
you
a lot
think
of your
anyone would run
concerns.
it over the
Isn't
Thompson
that
over
the
the Rescue
point of
Ranger
it,
though?
I think some
That could
people
be
would.
a
Yes.
I haven't seen
No,
that much.
no one
but
would.
Thompson seem
I
like
would not
No
run
one
the
who's
Thompson
trying to.
over the Rescue Ranger. There's no way.
So no
There's
one's
no
opposed
point.
to the Thompson then, huh?
well, I'd be okay with unbanning it, but I haven't seen it that much.
I thought the weapon was going to be game breaking either.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, we
for,
can always unban
for
it
it
and
to
then
have
reban it 2
any
days later.
impact, you would have to have an NG basically within the range that you do like an 80 damage scattergun shot.
Yeah, and you would die.
And you'd have to shoot through however many people are next to the med and hit the med, and then your team. Would
Does
push.
that weapon penetrate people?
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Only the Righteous Bison does. You guys want to talk about that weapon?
It's legal.
Wait.
No one
That
cares
It's
about
weapon-
it.
allowed right now.
It's been allowed
Oh, it
for a very
is?
long
Yeah,
time.
I did not even know that.
Maybe we ran it. Oh wait, you weren't here with Goldfish. We ran it. We had Goldfish.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's why, because Goldfish
Let's look
ran
at
it.
the let's look at the Darwin's Danger Shield.
No.
Oh wait, so
don't
are we
unban it.
unbanning?
Please
Don't
we're
allow
unbanning
that
Thompson?
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You are correct.
that weapon's like that weapon is the same concept as the booties. Basically, like it can be countered, but like it makes it 10 times easier if the other sniper runs it as well. That is before the
agree with
booties
you.
were like nerfed. Like basically, if one sniper runs it, the other one basically has to, unless he's like hacking, like Corsa.
So, what about Solemn Vow?
What does
In
that
my
weapon do
opinion,
again?
That's
It
sad.
allows
Unban
medics to see enemy health and Uber percentages,
It's not like
but
game
you
breaking,
lose.
But
I don't. Yeah.
Wait,
I just don't think that's even useful.
wait.
Like,
It doesn't actually. Okay, you lose firing speed too. That's all.
it kind of messes
you
with
have
the
to
way the game.
see you
I
with it?
don't. I don't see. I don't see how it messes with the game because like I know like I think Uber tracking is already an easy mechanic and that's like literally the best thing about it. And in a trade of the saw value, you lose the Uber saw.
Yeah, like the
Uber
Uber
Saw's
Saw
like
is literally the
great
best.
upgrade. You can unban it, but no one will run it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I'm still gonna run the Uber saw, but like
Yeah, same.
But you see, this is where we need like more weapons in the game because why is not like the Uber Saw isn't even like the stock weapon, you know what I'm saying? So like, how is everyone else that plays pubs and stuff that doesn't know about competitive like know about that shit, you know?
Like, honestly, if
'Cause,
you
like a lot of
just
people still
unban
run a
it or
bone saw
not,
and
doesn't
stuff.
matter. No one's
Oh,
going.
yeah. I know that, but I'm just saying that like this is why like our game needs more fucking weapons because like
So,
people run one weapon only.
have we agreed on 3 items then?
Wait,
Delucas,
wait,
Bar,
no.
Thompson, and
I
Solemn
don't know
Vow?
if the Solemn Vows. Like, I don't know if I'm okay with Solemn Vow.
Can you see can you see the health without having it pulled out, or do you have to have it pulled out to see health?
You
I
don't
think
need
you
it
can
pulled out.
It's passive.
See?
like regardless.
yeah, it's passive.
It's
You
passive.
just see enemy health all the time, which I think messes with or kind of like decreases some skill aspect of the game.
I
Yeah,
agree
but
with that.
if you run it, then you're just downgrading yourself.
But
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Because you
I still don't like
everybody
the
try
idea
it,
of
though. Like that's a weapon where, okay, some people are saying they might not run it, but how many times do you actually use your Uber saw unless you're like Nursey? Like
Yeah.
most medics
A
don't
lot more
use
than you
their.
think.
No,
I mean,
like,
some
I
people
believe
might-
if you
most
unbanned it,
medics-
most medics would use it.
I'm
And
not
then
sure that
I
most
agree.
medics
I mean,
like.
values of
yeah.
everyone.
Do you think it would completely change the way the game is played?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
In my
I think so.
opinion,
Medics would take a
kind
more
of.
active role. That could be considered more skill based.
I have a
I don't know.
plan. Why don't we unban it and see what happens, and then ban
Yeah.
it again if it doesn't
I'm
work?
trying to see.
I would
'Cause
agree
I'm
with
not
that.
okay with it, but
Did you say that it could see Ubercharge?
Overcharge and health.
But your
Yeah,
medic
so
would
you can
have
see
to have
the
line of
opposite.
sight of the enemy medic, which has its own risks associated with
To
it.
me, that just seems like a reduction in skill. Like the other medic no longer has to like watch the Ubers and see what percentage they're on
I
and
mean,
calculate any of that.
just like a
That's not
spy
often,
can see
right?
it, there's plenty of risk associated with running a spy and checking
Right,
that
but
stuff.
if you're like saying like every other person, sure, but like in like the top levels, everyone knows what the percentage is all the time anyway. Like it's not.
That's not true.
Oh, it is. Come on.
There are definitely
think-
times where people arrow builds and without knowing, or just build in general, and they're off by 10%, and that's
But even
round-
then,
that's
like your
rounding.
medic would have to be peeking forward to spot
Yeah.
the other enemy medic.
I think if a team thought they had an advantage, it could make it a lot easier to push. Because you could go in, pop your Uber, see how much they have. If they almost have it, you can get out. If they don't have it, you can just carry on. It makes
But
it easier to tell.
what about the times like on mid fights
right.
where a medic has like 90%, another medic has 70%, and they don't know. And it's a mid fight, you can see them across the map because it's, for example, it's process. You can see the medic like most of the
Yeah,
time.
that's one situation, but like,
That's most maps though, and that's a fight that occurs very often.
Like I said, just try it. Like you just theorize in here. We don't know what it's gonna do without trying it.
Yeah.
like
That's
the
what I
process
think
here
should
is to
happen.
unban stuff. Like you might as well. I agree with Hilda. Just give it a try, see if it breaks the game.
Which I doubt it will. But
Well, I
for
don't
some
think it
reason-
breaks the game. I just think it's kind of lame.
It
It's
changes
just a
the way.
reduction in
much better
skill, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna change the lower levels where people should be learning to track Ubers.
Is
Instead, they can just use
is
this
a
weapon.
reduction in skill for a medic like the cow maker's reduction in skill for soldier?
Yeah, it's
It
kind
Command
is.
are just fucking dumb.
It is going to change advantage pushes. I really do think.
But it changes like the whole team dynamic, kind of.
Are you guys opposed to unbanning something so that it gets used, so that we can actually have like
I don't know
experience?
if I want, like,
I think it's
I want
worth
to test
trying.
it before it gets used in the whole season,
Well,
maybe.
I mean,
Because if the
if you remember
criteria-
what we did with the base jumper and atomizer, those were legalized, and then we actually played them and we adjusted. I think that
Yeah.
this
But those
process
were
is
like you
flexible
could
enough.
immediately see those.
Well, that's kind of what we're looking for, right? If it's game
yeah.
breaking or whatever.
But I think this one's more subtle. Hold on, perfect.
In my opinion, the summon well would be more beneficial by like the health button rather than the overcharge button. Like you can,
Yeah, that would be the biggest thing because you can see
Yeah.
who's weak.
you can like
How is it? Well,
focus
does
fire
it?
a lot better and stuff. But it's not like it's game breaking. Like you're giving up Uber cell, which is like a fine side grade in my opinion. So like I think that it should like get unbanned and see how people use it and if it's actually more useful than Uber cell.
I feel like it would be more useful in like lower divisions because in high divisions, like everyone knows what the fuck kind of damage they're doing, so they know the HP of the enemy team anyways, and
But
clean
you
up
can
based
just
off of
fake.
that.
You can just fake your health and push anyway. People, there's so many times where people just fake their health to push or to push an enemy out of a mid.
Who's this speaking? I don't recognize that
Yeah.
voice.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I agree that's a reduction in skill, but I also think that like TF2 is a really hard game to coordinate in like pubs.
I just
or
think this
pug
one's more subtle,
situations.
so you won't immediately see how broken it is, like the base jumper.
I think it should be unbanned just to see what will happen. I think most people.
in my
agree.
opinion, I don't think it's going to change anything.
Let's
but
table it and see what the other unlocks that we unban are. How about that? Let's leave it to the end of the discussion. Let's look at the short circuit. Anyone here?
Short circuit.
Short
second.
circuit would be like Rescue Ranger, except a lot
Oh,
worse.
okay. No, short circuit is complete AIDS.
Yeah, short
That
circuit.
that shit is like the reason why HL is HL.
But they don't.
Highlander too, actually.
Oh, they banned that shit in Highlander?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. God bless.
Short
Yeah.
circuit is
But
like
you
a
don't-
worse version of Rescue
Okay,
Ranger.
yeah, yeah. That's
Okay,
not.
okay.
That is.
Just,
yeah.
that's fine. Don't.
Next weapon.
Alright.
Next weapon. Next weapon.
What about the Wrangler? Are we cool with the Wrangler?
That's
Oh
banned. That
god.
is
Oh
staying
god.
banned.
Okay, cool. I'm bringing it up.
Next
Alright,
weapon. Next weapon.
Buffalo
Next
steak
weapon.
sandwich. Anyone care?
It's like a
Next
dirty
weapon.
word.
Dude, I wish I
I
had a
think
six
that
sandwich.
one should remain banned.
It increases the
actually
damage
wondering-
that the heavy takes by 25%, but he gets mini crits when he eats it.
He gets move speed.
And he also can
Yeah,
throw
it's
it as
the-
a health pack, I believe.
The
That's-
move
Wait,
speed
what?
is the big thing.
The move
buffalo
speed is the
steak?
fastest of all heavy items. I think
So if you
until we
have-
get a heavy rework, that all movement items for heavy are kind of, except I guess the eviction notice is allowed. I don't know. I guess if you can argue for the eviction notice, you could probably argue for that one.
Darkin mini crits is a bit too much.
It's only on melee weapon.
Well, you
Yeah,
have
it's
to have
on
your
melee.
melee weapon out.
It's basically just you eat it and run to mid, and then you're there as fast as like your pocket. So you can't.
Short
have-
circuit was changed
you
at
can't
MIF.
really
It
have that
was
unbanned, and the
changed. It
eviction
was
notice,
changed
there's
for
just gonna
sure.
be heavies to mid on every map. That
But
it's half decent on.
That would be so
I've
good.
that there's
I've
heavy-
seen.
It,
I've seen the
it
steak
its
being
core
used in Highlander already
functionality
across the
wasn't
brand
really
version,
changed. All that really
because
changed
you can
was
still have,
the
like,
amount of ammo
other
that it
melee, and
took.
you can
And I
actually,
don't
like,
think that
go
that
out
was
fast in it.
significant enough, but
And in sixes, it would be
I
very
don't know.
unfun to like have a heavy as fast as a medic to mid.
Well, yeah, like
in my opinion.
when they allowed a lot of unlocks in TF2, like heavy to mid was like the meta. Like Gully Wash, you would run a heavy to mid, and it was just awful. Like no one enjoyed doing it, and to allow that to happen again, and I just think it would just be really awful. The mids would just be not fun.
Okay.
do you
What
think
about
that?
Fist of Steel?
Okay. I think that could
Aren't
be
they
allowed.
nerfed? Aren't they completely nerfed now? Like they don't decrease nearly as much damage. You take.
Yeah, but you can still like have a heavy like tank. I think the last time we had this is that the main problem was that heavy coming through a choke and tank a million damage.
But is that the same now than they've nerfed
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it's the same thing. I don't think they really
Oh,
changed it that much
leave-
recently.
I'll leave it
They
It
back.
haven't
hasn't
changed it
recently
since
been
the game.
changed. It has a slow draw speed, and you take extra damage from melee, but you still resist 40% of damage.
I think you should leave that ban.
The main concept of that will be just like you sit with your heavy near spawner and just let him.
What is this
spawn,
epilepsy tooltip? I don't know.
Tank
It's
and
like
even
really
enemy even
finicky.
into
If you like touch the
Alright,
bottom
well,
of it,
making some progress.
it works. But if you're like hovering over the edge, doesn't.
yeah,
Or
taunts.
We
the
still
se-
allow
Yeah,
it's like really weird.
Remember what?
all taunts
What?
that allowed you to stay in third person
Indefinite
as long as you
taunts.
wished, people thought
Yo,
seeing
guys,
around
guys,
the
guys,
walls was too
I'm
annoying.
pretty sure all the taunts were banned because of the guitar one. That's why, right?
No,
That was for UGC. I
the
think.
guitar one is allowed. It's the indefinite taunts that allow you to peer around
Yeah, like
corners.
high five and the dance
You can
ones
like
or
sit
whatever.
at Gully Wash last and peek around into river without having to use your body.
Well, the Conga was banned because you could walk and spawn, wasn't it?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Oh,
another
yeah.
reason, but yeah.
I don't know. We'll just keep all the existing taunts banned. I don't think anyone cares.
Well, I'm pretty sure that there can be like a plugin maybe made that made like all the taunts be in first person, so you can see around corners, and they'll be like, you could.
I don't think we
like,
should rely on plugins like that too much.
Yeah.
The problem with plugins is that we have to pass about ESCA, and that's a big pain in the butt.
Stay away from plugins for sure.
I'm pretty sure no one really cares about taunts.
Then send it to Valve. Let's like give us a command that like forces all the
Yeah,
taunts to be
that should
first
be
person.
that should be
There you go.
suggested for sure. What about the quick fix, boys?
I don't know. Like, I love it, but I don't think it's. I think it should stay banned just because of the fact, like, when it was allowed. I mean, I don't know if they've nerfed it, but I
It
just
has been
remember
nerfed,
vividly.
yes.
I
It's
do
been
remember
nerfed in
vividly watching.
two subtle ways, if you want me to explain.
Yeah,
Please
go
do.
for it.
Okay, the two nerfs were, the subtle one was the movement speed of the medigun when healing scouts. That's now on all mediguns, so it's not a quick fix only thing. And also the healing rate, or the build rate, sorry, was reduced down to only a 10% bonus instead of 25%. So you won't necessarily get it that much faster than all the other beams.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's the worst minigun of all four now.
Like, I love it, but I don't think it should be a competitive. But I love
Hey
it
Vid
running
boy,
it in, like,
TF taunt first
when I'm
person
rushing
1
around.
is in the game.
I think it could be some interesting like
Check that out,
last
man.
holds or mid rollouts with the quick fix.
There's also a 50% like less overheal, so I feel like there's no reason for it to be
Client
banned.
side.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Any
it's
other low-hanging
by the way,
fruit?
it's just come to my attention that there's a command in game for TF_taunt_ first person. I'm not sure if there's a way to enforce that command always being on. I think it's a client side command.
It's a client side, yeah. They added that with the virtual reality command.
Yeah, so if you could force that on, then you could unban taunts, but it's not really that important, I'm just mentioning it.
I don't know if you can force it on a client side.
Alright.
Can we look at the scout unlocks and you guys tell me if any of those are unbannable?
Wait, so I don't know if the quick fix.
I don't think the quick fix should
people,
be unbanned.
You going back to quick fix? Okay.
No.
Everyone thinks the quick fix should be unbanned, so.
Oops.
I still think it should be tested because
Definitely tested.
people have really short memories.
I just
It
have
was, like,
vivid.
really-
Yeah, like I know what you mean. Like those vivid memories of fucking watching that ESEA LAN when it was just like quick
Hey,
fix
try.
and crits.
It sounds like
Yeah.
you're not willing to commit to things that are into your league. So what if we did something like we can always have like an admin only meeting right before season starts, and then we could
Yeah, I
just
don't know.
review.
I just.
By the way,
maybe
Vid boy,
quick
thanks
fix
for the
is, like,
13
bad
month.
now, but I just.
Resub, man.
I'm not sure how I feel about it.
It doesn't auto build faster anymore, does it? You
No,
have
it still does.
It's
It
still
builds
built at
max
max rate, but it's only 10% faster.
I feel like the only time something like that would really come into like any annoying play would be on a mid fight. But again, on a mid fight at the same time, they're not completely buffed because one gives you 50%
So
of the
it
way.
should build slower than crits now, actually.
It's because of the minus 10%. It does both slower than crits, but you still gotta remember it's always constantly building at
Yeah,
max
so you just have to
rate.
be building.
You could do like a demo man rollout to mid on process with a medic there.
You could, but
You could, but no one would.
yeah,
We definitely would.
I mean, those kinds of
I know
strats,
you
like
would.
they're not. I feel like with the way that the quick fix has been nerfed, they wouldn't be as overpowered, because now the other medic, if he's running any other beam, can still catch up to mid fairly quickly, and he'll have the heals, and he'll get Uber at a relatively same
I
time.
wanna I want to start progressing through the unlocks a little bit quicker. So
I just
Kai,
want
if
to
you
say one
mind
last thing
pushing
about the
back on
quick
it.
fix. Like, the thing that made it annoying in competitive was like it's kind of like a safety net for your med. Like you can just get jumped out when everyone comes at you. So
Yeah,
you
but
could,
that's not like super bad. I thought the worst thing was just heavies were getting super tanked. I thought that was the most annoying thing.
Oh, we're banning weapons for being annoying again.
I'm
That's
just,
why it was banned. I
I'm
thought.
just saying, like, don't just like say, okay, we're unbanning it. Like, you should probably test it again just to
Well,
make
like,
sure.
yeah, but remember what we did? Like, what we were just talking about. Like, if people play with it, it turns out to be super
Hello,
annoying.
Reventon. Will I host a
they probably
tournament?
just
I
ban it
probably will.
before.
Probably will.
Completely
it was
honest, like,
banned because
the
it
only
changed
way
the
we can
game
get
too
people to
much.
test something, the only way we've ever gotten anyone to seriously test something at a high level is to just unban it. So,
Yeah, I agree.
like as you saw with the last global whitelist, we were willing to reban something within 2 days. I think we have a really good response time. Let's just like unless try you have serious pushback, we should just unban it.
All right then.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay.
So what? That
so
meant
like
quick
I
fix would
I
be
have a soft
unbanned
cap
and
in
Solemn Bell?
10 minutes, and we haven't even talked about unbans. So I would like to move through things a
What?
little bit quicker.
Yeah,
so
we
if you
have.
guys
We've
have any
unbanned
other
a
weapons,
couple
We
things
already
already.
agreed on like 3 of them.
on three of the bans. Sorry, not unbans. Bans.
Oh, new bands.
There's still other scout
New
items we
bans.
haven't talked about.
Well, yeah, but I think
Exactly. So
okay,
I would like
so
to keep it moving.
Atomizer,
That's all I'm saying.
no.
Sandman.
Absolutely not.
In my opinion, no. But
Cinnamon, no.
I could
Please.
see the argument for.
Sandman would be
unbanning.
super.
Why not Sandman? You have Natasha already.
Hey,
I don't think
Smithley,
it's
thank you for the 14
Well,
months
not being
in a
able to
row,
shoot
man.
slightly more annoying than slowing down.
Sorry for not being here. My stream schedule seems to line up with your sleep schedule. Yeah, my streams have been
It'd
all
be
over
so
the place.
fun.
I'm sorry,
I
man.
think the Sandman should be
Just
unbanned.
use it.
Did we talk about Soda Popper?
Soda
I think
Popper's
so.
the only other one that I think could have an argument for unbanning because
Yeah.
I don't think it's like.
I don't
as
think you
strong as
guys
people
played
think.
Highlander enough.
It was
to-
nerfed since then.
I
Yeah,
know
I
it was.
mean-
But you can still. The part that was annoying was the jumping part, not the actual glitch. So
No,
basically,
that's
yeah,
not
but
even
no,
what
the
I'm
jumping
talking
part
about.
was nerfed.
That's
like,
not
you
even
had
what
to
I'm
do
talking
dam-
about.
you
It
had
was
to do
nerfed
and
that now you have to do
DPS.
damage to build the meter instead of just running. So the fact that you would have to probably play differently to build that damage might make it less appealing than the scatter gun.
wait, it
How much
was.
damage is it?
It's still 5 jumps, right?
Yeah, 5.
Because that was
Yeah.
the only part in like high level play that made it.
No, I think
kind of
it was
annoying to play against.
no, like,
Not
you only-
annoying, but
You only played it against Ibby, and Ibby was annoying because he would just get to like a mid fight. He's already jumping. Like you have to do like, I don't know how much damage you have to do, but you have to do damage now in order to get your jumps. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it any better. I don't want it, but I can't really argue against it since of the damage
I
thing.
think it's another one that should be actually tested.
It
'Cause-
takes 350 damage to build a Soda Popper height.
350. Okay.
Yeah, people say like Soda Popper does more DPS than Scatter, but like that's only in like really ideal situations, not really
Yeah,
realistic.
like you can't really deny a Soda when you have 2 shots.
Just theorizing here. We don't know what it's going to do.
I think in the spirit of unbanning weapons and trying them out, like we agreed on quick fix. I think we should just like unban the Soda Popper and see how that goes. Because
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
fine
think, in
with
my
Soda
opinion, it's
Popper
that game breaking.
I agree.
being unbanned.
But if it's too bad, then we can still make changes.
Does anyone have an argument for the reserve shooter as an alternative to gunboats?
Well, it's
no.
a definite upgrade to every pyro.
It's either a buff to pyro or like a
huge
side
buff to
grade in
pyro.
gunboats.
I don't think it's a side grade.
You think
Yeah,
if
I
reserve
think-
shooter was unbanned, then every soldier would run it?
I think if
so.
reserve shooter was unbanned, like you're talking about for a soldier, right? Or if reserve shooter was
Yeah.
unbanned, I
Soldier
think a
and pyro.
pyro to mid would be things people actually would
What
do.
is this whitelist for?
'cause
This
a
is the
soldier would
global
not wanna
whitelist
jump into
discussion.
that.
Yeah, and
It's
you think like
basically a free
all the
damage.
soldiers
Like
would just run to mid and just chill?
having damage for free in this game is.
I think it kind of breaks the game. So, but I don't know for sure. In my opinion, it shouldn't be
You-
unbanned.
It's 3 shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
4.
Has the weapon
And
changed?
you get mini crits, which is triple damage.
Has it changed at
No,
all? The weapon?
1.5 damage, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's been
1.35.
changed.
And no
1.5
damage
damage.
roll.
Don't see why you should unban it if it hasn't changed.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
leave
then
it
again,
blank.
I really don't care if it's used or not. It makes such a tiny difference anyway. Just one of those things.
Yes or no? So the scout weapons, I don't think anyone wants like bonk, critical.
No,
Bonk can be interesting, but I don't know how people would react to it. Like I was thinking the other day, like what would bonk do to like?
Well, when
I
it
don't
was
know,
allowed
like
in
competitive
ETF2L, they used to use strats where they would run a scout bonk and block an entrance, and then bomb a
Oh
soldier
yeah,
behind
that can
them.
be annoying.
Good times, good times.
Yeah,
And
it's
that was
actually
in
buffed
2010.
since it's been banned. They lengthened the invulnerability, so it allows
You
for a little
constantly
bit.
have a scout behind. I
Yeah,
don't think it should be
that's
unbanned.
what would happen.
It gives you a lot of options to just go behind for free and get out for free. Also,
With zero skill involved as
Yeah,
well. Like
I think
it's
that if it punished you after the cooldown, like after you're invulnerable, like to a high degree, it might be interesting, but it doesn't. Like it
if you
used
had
to
mini
slow
crits or
you.
something, but
Yeah, I think if bonk like marked you for death, and like Criticola made you like super slow, then it would be fine. After they lowered the
Alright, so
duration
no.
too, but I think right now they're game breaking.
Let's move
leave that banned.
to
Yeah.
guillotine and milk, which.
I think
Well, okay,
both.
I think they're
Both,
separate.
leave them both.
Yeah, let's go one at a time.
Guillotine, I don't think it's OP, but
I don't.
it's
You
fair
can
game.
just stand in a choke and spam like
It's
80
like,
damage. through.
Doesn't it do mini crits based on damage distance?
On distance, yeah.
That's like super inconsistent. Like I don't think I've ever gotten a mini crit.
I've gotten a mini crit before back on like Lakeside.
Quite
Remember
generous
that?
hitbox as well.
Okay,
But,
well,
like-
there is a glitch that
Yeah,
is fine
with the
guillotine.
Natasha.
Yeah, with the Natasha. If you like guillotine a Natasha.
If the weapon's glitched, it should be banned.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is.
I don't know if it's a glitch because it honestly just says in the description that it crits stunned players and Natasha pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it. I actually don't think it's a glitch. It also works with the air blast. If you air blast in Cleaver,
Yeah.
then it's similar.
It's just a
But
dumb
that's-
weapon.
That's
You
the
stand
annoying
like
mechanic.
Let
you
this
could just
torture end. It'll end
throw
soon,
it through
trust me.
flank, and then as soon as you hit someone, that's it. Like then you run
Yeah.
in and try and trade and get behind, and like they've taken 50 damage and they're bleeding, and it's not like their medic's just sitting next to them because it's like they're flank players.
It's not very skillful to just hold down a button on the flank and then,
Would
like
you
once you
use
hit
it?
someone. I think like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people in this channel.
It's like it's a 4-second recharge that you get like 50 damage. I don't even know. Like I think it's 40 damage initially, then plus bleed, and then it's unlimited. Like that's almost like a Calmanger thing. I wouldn't give that.
Not a
something like
glitch,
that
then
to
Tasha's
Scout.
considered stun.
It's not
I
even like
see.
you lose anything by throwing it because
Yeah.
you still have 6 shots in your primary.
the
It's
only
weird
thing you
because
lose
for
is a
I
pistol
think on
with
heavy
that
it's
weapon,
listed
and
as like a
that's
slow,
not
not a
very
stun.
valuable.
Chance to slow
And plus, a
target.
range change to mini crit.
I think the
is actually
Sandman should be
inconsistent.
changed.
Like,
I wouldn't want
can you imagine how
that.
obnoxious like
to-
watching a flank would
I
be
don't
with
like
2
the stun.
scouts?
See, that one
spamming,
literally says
like,
stun.
Yeah.
guillotines
This one
on
literally
cooldown.
says stun. That's why I think most people
leave it
assume
banned.
that
Don't think we should
those
ban
two
that
are
weapon.
supposed to be connected, and because they're for the
Don't
same
know, I'm on the
class.
fence. Like I don't
Of
know
course you
enough
are,
about
Hildred.
it. I don't know enough about it to see
I do.
difference it makes.
Wasn't it also allowed during the atomizer time, or was it not?
No, it was not.
No.
No. Okay.
It was like one of those things we decided last second before we made the first whitelist, I think.
Okay.
Alright, is there any others?
There was bad milk, but I don't think that should be allowed. It's very powerful.
Yeah, but oh, did we talk about? Oh, we're talking about unbanning stuff still,
Unlocking,
right? Or
Yeah, I
Alright.
think that was pretty much everything, unless disciplinary
Yeah,
action.
everything else.
I don't think anyone wants
I think
that.
disciplinary action gives the same side effect as the Vita Saw does. If one soldier runs it, then the other one has to run it. And apparently
And
people
it
don't
makes
like
heavy
that
to mid
idea.
viable, and it makes
Yeah.
bombs like just insane.
Okay. So to recap, we agreed on Delocos Bar, Thompson, Solemn Vow, and
Yeah.
Soda Popper.
Yeah, you
And then
Soda
Quick Fix
Popper,
was like considered.
so Soda Popper and Solemn Vow are in the. If it turns out to be annoying, people are going to consider banning it. I think Quick Fix was with those things too.
Yeah, definitely.
I just got back. What did you guys discuss?
Is there any reason to give Scout the ability to jump 5 times in the current state that the game is in?
Well, it could be one of those things that is available but will have no impact, is what I'm saying. Like,
It's
The soda
no
popper, yeah, if you have to go out of your way to build it up and all that stuff, like, how will that actually be beneficial in the long
yeah,
run?
didn't
That's
it
the
get nerfed?
question. It was changed
you
so
got
that you have to
nerfed
build up
damage to get
the
it
hype
down.
meter instead of just running, which
I
could
think
be
that should
enough of a
definitely be a button
downside.
as
Yeah,
like
well, that's the
yeah.
premise here.
Yep.
Is that we're willing to
Yeah.
reconsider after testing.
So that just leaves what we want to ban possibly out of the current whitelist. Is that what we're talking about now, or are we done?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think that's the rest of unbans, or yeah, things to unban.
So as far as I can tell, the 3 most controversial items are Rescue Ranger, Cow Mangler, and Girardi.
I think the Cow Mangler is fine. I think Girardi and Rescue Ranger have a pretty strong argument for being banned, but that's just my opinion, to be honest. It's what I guess you have to go with what the majority of people want.
Yeah, I don't see them as game breaking, so I would be fine with keeping them legal.
Do they fit the criteria that you set out on why a weapon should be banned? That's it.
I have a question. Would people run Vitasaw over Ubersaw or Saw and Bow?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the way the Vitasaw works, I'm not 100% on this, but I think the way the Vitasaw works is that even if you reach 21% Uber, you get to keep 20% from that.
Let's test it.
Oh yeah, I think there's a bug with it where you can respawn with the Vitasaw and then instantly switch to a different weapon. And
Yeah, during your respawn wave, you can switch a weapon
Oh,
and still
yeah.
retain 20%.
Alright, then.
Yeah, that's
Can you
no
test that actually and confirm it, please?
Yeah, I know that. I know that respawn thing 100%. I don't know about the 21 to 20% thing.
So you die with what? Like Ubersaw, and then you change the Vitasaw, and then you keep it?
No, I don't. You don't keep it like that. That doesn't happen. But if you died with the Vita Saw and then you switch to Uber Saw, you keep the 20%. That happens.
Yeah, if you get, I just tested
Fuck,
it
I
on the
can't heal
server.
these
If you get to 20% Uber, you keep that. No
Yeah.
matter. So
You'll
from
believe.
20 to 80, you keep 20%. And then beneath that, you keep however much you had.
Yeah, so that's. I don't think if the Vita Saw literally worked by 20% and it had a slight nerf to the weapon, I think it'd be worth unbanning. But the way it is right now, it's kind of, eh. Kind of like, yeah, if you're running, I feel like you're pretty much throwing range.
Alright, let's see what I got. I had 21%.
Well.
Yeah. Well,
I
I'd be
had
okay
0%.
with. I'm more okay with Roddy than Rescue Ranger.
Something went wrong. The fuck happened?
I'm more okay with Rescue Ranger than Girardi. I think Girardi is like. Is really.
I don't think it's very skillful either. Like
It's so good. Like, if a soldier bombs you and it's off cooldown, at best the soldier can trade for you. Like that's
yeah.
Like, just think about maps like Vita.
Your suicide, it doesn't work, so I have to like
Like,
trade or some
Sniper can
shit.
just throw it over the top, and you all
And
Girardi'd.
the one thing I don't feel like people mention enough with that mini crits don't suffer
Ooh, it turned
from
me into
fall
a
off
bot.
damage.
It's like
so
making me
if
hold
you're mini
W.
critted, doesn't matter how far you are, a rocket's gonna do the same damage as if you're like right next to it.
Look,
And don't
I can
think
walk with
people
no
really consider
hands.
that with Girardi. That's like actually extremely annoying.
I'm a bot now.
Free damage again. Same
I
Berserker.
have
free
no control.
damage for little to no risk himself.
No skill in using it either. There's no.
Generally, the sniper class.
How can I die? I can run into this.
Like I
Okay, I
honestly think,
cratered.
like, I mean, there's no reason not to run
I
it
count
right
as a
now.
crater.
Like
Let's
if you,
see if this
I
one.
mean, some people
Okay,
are adamant
okay.
about not running it, but like 7 use it all the time.
Still counts as a
against us,
suicide
and it's
apparently.
quite
God damn it!
devastating when we're
How
in
can
a-
I die?
And it's not that skillful. And
Let's
it's
go to a
quite
pub.
annoying. So I would like to see it banned.
Yeah, I like to see the Girardi banned as well.
Okay, so for someone who's tuned out for the last 5 minutes or so, what are you guys deciding to ban?
Girardi. Well, I mean,
Okay.
I think it should be banned. I don't know about the other people here, but
I agree.
I think
it should
Points
be
for
banned.
banning it or what?
I do not care.
Okay, we can
Ban
ban it.
Girardi.
What were the
And then the
reasons for
Rescue
banning
Ranger will get
Girardi
banned as
again?
well, right?
No one say anything about the Rescue Ranger yet, I think.
Can they not? Me?
Okay.
I don't know. I'd say yes, but like I'm not as like strong. I don't really have a strong opinion about that as I do with the Jurati.
See, the
What were the
Jurati is-
reasons for banning Jurati?
My reason for it was because mini crits don't suffer fall-off damage, which is extremely aggravating because that's free damage for like to really no risk, and it's such a valuable secondary just because of that. And then what Sam said was, if a soldier bombs you, at best a soldier can get a trade with a sniper if something like that happened.
That's just theorizing. Like
it's not theorizing.
But my damage thing isn't theorizing. That's 100%. That's
Yeah,
going to
like, it's-
happen.
it's
It
just
has
like-
been playtested the first season. It's not
Turn
a
off Game
theory.
Boy.
I
Yeah, I'll turn this off.
play and use it a lot, and it happens every single
Yeah,
time a soldier
every time
bombs
we-
me, they die.
Every time we
Guaranteed.
play against 7, like on Viaducts,
Yeah.
we get a Jurati thrown at us, and then we're just fucking destroyed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't that because you blow?
Possibly.
He makes a very good argument.
But we'd blow less about the Jurati.
Yeah, but that's not the fault of the item. That's your fault.
It is the fault of the item, though.
How?
God knows, raises very good point.
Blobbing up and getting slashed by it. That's them using the weapon like it should be.
It's what? What? No, the soldier bombs you. You see him coming. You throw it at your feet, and then you try to hit the surf. And if you hit the surf, you don't even die.
He's talking about like specific.
Alright,
like,
now I
on
need to
Viaducts or
die.
something where you
Oh.
get, like plugged up.
Well,
I mean, the
there
like
are
radius
certain-
on it is fucking
30%.
massive.
There are
Like-
certain holds on maps where it's like you can't really avoid it. Like on Badlands West, you can just throw that thing into lobby and splash like 4 people for free.
Yeah, it's free damage. I don't know what we are
So
discussing.
Do you guys not think that the risk of the sniper pushing up to throw that is like?
It doesn't have to go
a
that
downside
close to
enough?
throw it. It's a really easy throw.
Aren't there walls in the game?
Well, what risk does the sniper have on Viaduct to throw it? None. Like you can just chuck it over the fucking top.
And that like on like on Snakewater
Kill me.
too. Like
You bitch.
if you're like on on that like that far left.
He
if you're
didn't kill
pushing
me!
Last far left, a sniper doesn't have to be in a very dangerous spot just to throw draw ID onto like almost the whole combo in lobby.
I had
It's
over
stuff like
20%.
that. Like
Let's see what
just-
happens.
I think there's a lot of situations like that. A sniper can just suddenly mini crit important classes for no risk for himself.
If you throw the Jurati across the map, doesn't it take a few seconds to actually land so you can dodge it?
Yeah,
One
but if the
second.
Snakewater example, you can't really dodge that, or in Goya Wash, you can't really dodge it. Like
Kept
it's almost
19.
instantaneous, and you have no time to
What's
react to
the
it.
Snakewater example?
Snakewater isn't that far left range. If
19.
someone's like anybody is caught swinging the right side,
Alright,
or any
what?
combos stuck holding in cheese, a sniper is sticking it
Maybe
forward
like
for 1 quick
rounded
second
down
and just
from 20.
Jurati, like they're mini critted right there.
Wait, why would you be holding in cheese, letting a sniper
Not
flip
cheese,
push
like
up like that?
not like holding cheese, but some classes will just stand there, like a medic, for example. Like usually medics don't do that, but there are some people who will hold in cheese, and
You
they
gotta
are
go
stuck.
super deep as a sniper to be able to.
You don't have to go that deep. Like a normal
19.
sightline angle.
I guess
in
it's
that
rounding
concrete spot on
down
the
or
left side,
something.
Like yeah, you're
It's
using
weird.
Spain, but snipers do go there a lot.
But yeah, it
Kelly Watch Choke
maintains
is another one they use it.
20%
Choke,
total
Choke's a
rather
good one,
than
Goulash last.
20% of what you
Goulash
have,
last, throwing a Jurati
which
over the launch
is
pad area is also a really easy throw that no
I
one can
think
react to.
probably a worse
Like,
approach.
what,
I'd probably rather see it be
free. If your demo has sticks on right, you can't get pushed or killed.
be
It's
the other
practically
way.
impossible to die.
It's just like
That
it just
way, if you
feels like
drop
a weapon.
Uber, not only is it more likely you're gonna drop
like you
Uber,
just get free
but that's like the
But
only
does it
time it'll
promote
really
skillful
be
play?
that
It doesn't.
useful.
It's not skillful. Using it is just you just throw it.
You're just gonna
Jurati
die
is
more
pretty
often in
I saw
like
those
with
right here, shot
140
practices over the course
health.
of the stream. That was pretty nice.
So if it doesn't promote you,
But is
And
that
it will
skillful?
have
Is he trying to
negligible
promote
payoff.
skillful play? Because like most of these items don't promote skillful play in any way. They're just like items that don't really matter.
I think you should just concern skillful play. Like if everything, like Jurati is not skillful play. Jurati is 10% ability using your eyeballs. There's 39% reward if your soldier's doing more than maximum damage with normal spam. It's way too rewarding just for doing like nothing.
and it's not a side grade. It's just a straight upgrade on this. Like, why would the sniper not run that? It's like
20% of what you had. That's
I mean,
not
that's
correct,
a valid
man. I didn't have full Uber.
Imagine if a buff banner was regenerating and you had.
Oh, we had a
free
resub
banner
too. Dark
every
Matter,
30
thank you, man, for the
seconds.
13 months.
you can
Insert
keep
celebration
throwing
here.
it. Like that's the main thing. If it
Well
was just a
done.
one-shot thing and it like took ages to reload or something, then I wouldn't be against banning it. But you can just sort of just go to a reset, get another Jurati. In fact, you can even
Yeah.
stand at the top of Badlands and constantly throw Jurati if you wanted to.
Yeah, but who does that? No, nobody does
Honestly,
that.
I don't really
But it's
care
not
whether
exploited in the way
fucking
that you're saying it is.
Jurati or Rescue Ranger
it's
are
like
banned
a bad idea to allow that weapon in the game.
because
Yeah, but that's what
the whole
restock
time I've been
cabinets do. They
like
give you back everything.
I'm
an
surprised.
advocate for
so
actually
like,
testing
instead of like keep
items.
arguing about this,
So
it
the
still
fact that
feels
they
like
were
everyone's on
used
just
for a
wanting to ban
season,
it still.
I think gave us enough experience
The thing
where
is, like, you
we could
see
still
the
see
same with
good
soda pop
positive
that
changes to
happened,
those
it got nerfed,
items
so you need to actually do
that come
something
from
so
a
you get
credible
the
place.
hype boost. So,
So I don't
like,
really care,
if they
to be
change the
honest.
Girardi, so
But
like
some of
you
these
need
other
to get,
items
like,
I think
five
still need
not
some
5 kills.
testing.
Let's say you need to get like 3 kills to build up a Girardi, then sure. But if you get it free every 30 seconds, it just doesn't make sense.
I just
Just
don't
get
see
free
teams
damage.
exploiting it as badly as like you're
It's
making
not
out
an
it can be, and it's
exploit.
been allowed for a
It's
season
not
as
an
well.
exploit. It's just a free damage you get every 30 seconds.
No, by exploit I mean actually like using it in the ways that you're saying that you can use it.
Lemisky.
Yeah, but we're also talking about the ways they use it normally, which are also really like it's
Yeah.
just it's
Like,
just
normal scenarios, it's too good. Normal
Yeah.
scenarios is too good. Exploiting it just makes it legendary good. Like I don't want to be in a scenario like that. And Girardi is just annoying. It's just super annoying. And I don't think it.
Ban it because it's annoying.
It doesn't even add much to the sniper like at all. Like the rescue ranger, I can see because that's a pretty important thing for normal engineers. But Girardi is just.
What are we doing? We're
super
having a
fucking
global
annoying.
whitelist
No, Rescue
discussion.
Ranger seems pretty much the same. It's like you don't need very much skill to use it.
Oh,
Who's
before we
this
talk about
person
the
You get a
rescue
huge
talking?
ranger,
benefit out of it.
This
before we
guy?
talk
why
about
we
rescue
keep
ranger, I
it
want
on.
to finish Girardi. Like I think everybody wants. Like most people want Girardi banned.
yeah.
I mean, I don't really mind if it gets banned, then it gets banned. It makes such a small difference.
There's definitely counters to it, and so like it's up to the majority vote for it. Like it depends on like I guess the level of play you're looking at, but I wouldn't say it's a game breaking. However, it's up to you guys really. I played demo, so I could give a shock less.
I don't think it's game breaking either.
Yeah, it's definitely
I
not.
don't think game breaking should be like the solid solid.
Yeah, but I don't think skill reducing either because it comes down to the actual player how they want to use the weapon and how
But it's
the other team
definitely
how they
skill
want to.
reducing. Like no
You could
matter
change
what,
the
I think
rescue
it's
ranger
skill
so it heals
reducing.
opposite of crossbow. The
Because
furthest it
soldiers
heals
then
the
get
least.
easier with spam
That'd be
damage
cool.
because soldiers
decent
get
idea.
no fall off damage because they're
I definitely
manipulated.
think that
So they take more
the rescue
damage plus
ranger
no fall off comes from being manipulated.
isn't
for
game
Girardi.
breaking, but it like has a lot of flaws
It lasts a
in
while as well.
design.
Like it doesn't go
They
away
could
for,
change
like,
it
a few
to
seconds.
promote
It's enough time
more
for someone to
interesting
get in a
play
position and
by making
do
the
a huge amount of
engineer
damage if you're
have
caught.
to
How many
take more
fights
risk
across the
to use
season
it,
just through Girardi?
and that's
Way
a
too
good
many.
way
I
to
could tell you
make
there's
that
quite a
happen
lot.
for sure.
Well, go on then.
How is that even possible?
How is that even possible? Well, we're holding Gullywash choke, and then Stark
Okay.
decides to throw Girardi at Tom, and then he just dies because Scout just.
Wait, how
my
close is he holding the choke? Is he right inside the choke, like eating the
Sounds like
Girardi on
it's just
purpose?
being
Yeah.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you
sounds
don't
like-
have to be right inside the choke. Like the sniper was in the elbow area next to the choke. He can
What?
throw it.
It's called playing positioning. Like you're not just gonna stand in front of the floor in front of choke, right?
Yeah,
like that makes no sense.
Put that aside just for a second. Doesn't that speed up the
Ba-ba.
game?
Hello,
if they're
Spike. Have
actually
I
using
watched
that as a
Stranger
way of
Things? I have
breaking the
not.
stalemate rather than an Uber.
Ban Girardi so you never see free state throw it at the beginning of every round. Yeah, that's the ceremonial round start thing. It's
Like,
free
causing,
state always
like, people
throws
to
to
just get
Girardi and
steamrolled by
spawn.
a piss in a jar.
What he's trying to
I
say.
feel like you've
No, go ahead.
never played against someone who's thrown a Girardi.
Yeah, I think
Like I have no idea how you can have played against someone using the Girardi and then come to the conclusions that you're coming to.
I think you guys are being way too general. I don't know what situation you guys are in where you got Girardi and think, wow, these guys really outbrained me there. I'm really glad that happened.
Did anyone say that?
That's what people are trying to say. What Assassin just said. I don't think
I
that's.
don't think
It's not like he's
Habib
saying
said
he,
that at all.
Their
that
argument
you
is
got
stop being
outplayed.
bad.
It's just that it's slightly poor positioning and that's being exploited, and it's your fault.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, there's literally a counter to everything in this game, and you just have to think about it.
Just unban everything then if there's a counter
Yeah,
to it.
like if you guys are like, if it's like
Follow
too
that.
much of an issue, it can be banned. Like I don't care. I like I said, I mean demo. I could care less about like what gets banned in this game. My class is already shit as it is.
Can we just play Face It?
So-
I gotta
Why
do this
even hear
first.
that if you don't give a fuck
Don't
about
worry,
it?
I'm gonna be on for a while,
because
so
I
there'll
just
be
want
plenty
Noah
of
to
time
get
for that
shocked,
stuff.
that's it. I'm happy.
I like this guy. We should listen to him.
Yeah, I'll see you at line if you're coming. By the way.
I am.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water.
Oh no.
Right, so we've got nowhere of that. Like, just leave it to the majority, I guess. You know my
Don't leave it
opinion.
to the
but
majority. Leave it to the admins.
Yep, it's up to the admins.
do whatever.
We've put our input in.
I don't know. It seems kind of like
if the counter to that argument is stop being bad, then I think that's a really weak argument.
Well, my thing was it seems to encourage breaking stalemates. Like it's just an extra way of doing it. But then again, lots of things are an extra way to break stalemates.
That is pretty counterintuitive.
My policy
because...
with broken weapons is like if you really think that's broken, then break the game with it.
Can I show the list of what? What list?
Yeah, that's like
show
the
everyone
kind of the
else
point
what-
I've
This
been
list?
making. That like you coming up with all these scenarios where like
The time
you
this
can
will
crush,
end, you'll
like,
come back later.
in
It
stalemate
ends
to, like,
at
you know,
least
like slightly poor positioning, but most of the time
by
that doesn't
2
happen.
p.m.,
If it's
45
so
minutes from
powerful,
now.
then use it, exploit it to its full potential. No one does that.
But this is important, so
I mean,
I'm gonna stick through.
you're sitting like, isn't so Turbo's on the second best EU team right now, right? And he's telling you that it's retarded, even against very good teams. It's still getting like it's still fucking people up, like in chokes and stuff.
Wait,
that's on.
You're the second best. Oh, sorry, carry on.
Thanks for that, Hildreth.
So like, I don't like you're saying like you're telling people to actually prove that it's exploitable or whatever, and then they're proving it by like.
Did he prove it?
Showing or telling you about examples.
As long as it's
from the two
debatable, I'm
best
telling you,
teams in
like, it's
Europe
not
playing.
really.
I can tell you more
I mean, you
examples
can
if
just ignore what he's saying, and
No,
that's debatable.
that's fair
I
enough. But
guess.
I don't think it's like as often like frequently used like that as he's saying. Like,
It really
was this
is,
like
Connors.
in one official or something?
No, there's like in every PCW we play against them, we have one. There's always a time when the
Who is
Jiraiya
this
is
guy with the
used
deep
against us and
voice?
fucks us.
Turbo.
Like in Viaduct especially, Viaduct
Who's
is like
Turbo?
the one map I would say that Jiraiya has the most effects on, because
Turbo.
you can just hail that thing over the. You don't even have to be seen, and because of the way you play Viaduct. Maybe the med doesn't get splashed, but like it's a very good chance that 2 or 3 people are going to get caught in the Jiraiya. And that's not like being bad or having position, that's just the way you play Viaduct.
My
And you're
Discord
saying,
group
you're
win.
telling me
Dude,
that you
it's
should
right
allow
here.
a weapon that
You
can
can
be
join
thrown
this.
without even seeing
Spam
them,
memes.
splash multiple people,
I do it all the
and
time.
then enable a soldier to jump in and kill them with very little effort, I think it's absolutely retarded to allow that weapon.
Why don't you guys use it against Seven?
Well, we
Why
do.
don't we just ban it when it's fucking broken?
Okay. As I said before, the results really don't matter. If one team is better than another team, you can unban as many unlocks as you want. That one team will remain better than the other team because they're both always in the same scenario. That will
It's
not
on
change
Champ
the result.
GG.
Well, I mean, if you make
I
sniper
see.
better class and a team has a really good sniper and otherwise is weak, like that's no longer true then.
I think the most interesting
I
argument that's
don't
been brought
even-
up is about breaking stalemates. If breaking stalemates is something that you guys consider to be important, then things like Bonk and Girardi should be given like serious thought.
I think
There are
I'm
other
in favor of
situations where Girardi's
ways
used,
that you
I
can
mean-
break stalemates that require like actual like skill to pull off.
I think sniper requires skill.
Yeah, but
Not
throwing
Girardi.
Girardi doesn't.
What about Mad Milk? I think that's a really good weapon.
I mean, it's the same as the Vita sauce.
Pocket
It means,
conch.
like if one scout is running it, then the other scout has to run it, or you're losing because the other team gets healed during fights.
That's the Girardi argument, though.
Not even close. The Mad Milk
He's
is
a-
way better than Girardi.
Mad Milk is a pocket conch.
Bonk be given
Girardi is
serious
a,
thought.
pocket
I
book
said
banner.
if breaking stalemates
we
is your
ban
number
it or
one
ban it? Does it
priority,
make a difference?
then you should allow Bonk. I didn't say
thing
that
is
we
that
should
Bonk
allow
hasn't
Bonk.
really been,
I
like,
said
brought up yet, is you
if
can,
you care about
you can use it in like
stalemates and that's super important
hit
to
a
you,
really good Girardi, but you
then
can
that
also,
item
like,
itself
while you're
breaks
holding
almost
west
all
as
stalemates.
sniper, you can just sit by the spawn, Girardi someone for free, and then switch off, and that player is basically a free kill, like on last.
That's what Turbo was arguing.
Well, maybe not because you do have
You can
teammates.
just switch off for free. Like there's no
not a huge-
there's no drawback to that.
Where's the there's literally no reason not to use a Jiraiya right now. Like if a
It's a
sniper isn't using
free
Jiraiya, it's
damage.
retarded. It's
But
free
that's
damage.
not a
It's
good
not
argument either.
skillful.
Then you shouldn't use the rocket launcher. There's no reason not to use it right now. You can
Alright,
shoot
I'll
it.
give you the
from
2
spawn.
points,
What
Slin.
the fuck did you just
The-
say? What?
These are my
That's-
arguments. It's free
That
damage
argument
and
doesn't
it's
make
not
sense.
skillful. That's my argument for it being banned.
It's not
Damn it,
fun to
dude.
play
People
against. It's
shouldn't
better
be
than
able to
any other
post links in
unlock
this
in the
thing.
sniper secondary.
And
It
it's not
requires very
skillful.
little. Yes, and it's not
It
skillful.
hits the only like you guys are saying you should that you're saying you should unban it because it's so good that
Eli,
it
yeah, I
breaks
tested
stalemate.
that.
Like
Convince everyone to unban quick fix. I think
don't
that the
get,
quick
like,
fix is
that's-
already
you're
being
literally
considered to be
saying
unbanned.
it crushes stalemates,
We're
so
gonna
we
be here
should
all day.
unban it.
Nah, there's a
Stalemates,
hard
are
end
not
time
banned.
at 2
Like,
p.m.
stalemates
We're
are
actually
gonna be
like
part of
really
TF2
close to the end
regardless. Like,
because
they're
there's
part of
only
the game.
like 3
removing
items that we're
stalemates is
talking
like
about right now,
removing
which are
the like one of the
Girardi,
biggest parts of
Rescue
TF2.
Ranger,
Rescue Ranger.
and
Like if you want to
Cow
remove
Mangler.
stalemates,
I
like
think those are the only 3
then
right
you just
now.
have to get rid of Ubers because that's what's gonna happen when one
Yeah,
team has
pretty
Ubers.
much.
I mean, I'm down for that. I don't mind.
I think the game would go to shit basically if that happened.
I don't think Turbo's like what his example on Gunny Wash was like. Oh yeah, it's fucking us every single time. Like that you're at choke. Because if you were getting fucked every single time, that's your fault.
No, I didn't
You
mean
just never
to.
learn.
I didn't mean it to be sounded like it's like the one thing they do that fucks us. I was saying that I used a better example.
I
on
feel like a
Whitelist
lot of
that
these
really does fuck us all the
European
time.
teams right now, they're mostly
Like the Gully
well,
Wash one, yeah, like
I
that
think
can
almost every
miss
team
and
here.
or just get one pick and the
Like
stalemate's
everyone's
broken, but when you just
biased
back
about
off and
how
then see
good their
what we've been doing.
team
So how about a
is
situation like on process
with these
choke where they
items,
just
or like
enjoy
how
process choke? You can't
one
really see the
specific
sniper.
team
You just have to
has
throw it
like
over you, and then your demo main
utilized the
suddenly
weapon
Girardi or
well,
something like that. Like,
and they lose to
with
them,
skills involved
and it
there,
upsets
and, like,
them.
the stalemate's broken. That's a
I
good
feel like
thing,
that's
but
going
like,
on to
are
a
you
large
really glad
degree
that
here,
stalemate's broken?
and it
I don't know
it
who
kind
would be
of
happy in a situation like that.
it kind of makes it difficult to
You know
have
what
an
we need?
honest discussion about the
Ultimates.
merits of the
I
actual
think a demo man
weapons.
had a shotgun. It really.
Yeah.
I agree.
Remove Ubers, put in ultimates, dude. That's the perfect solution to this game.
Isn't Girardi sort of like a sniper version of an ultimate if you think about it? It's just
Yeah,
extra
and all,
weapon.
all
Yeah, but
he,
you
all,
get it for
all-
free
all
every
he-
30 seconds.
Yeah, all he needs
Next
is
weapon.
all he needs is a voice line.
The only good whitelist.
Girardi.
Let's see
Next
this one.
weapon.
Well, it does have a voice line, doesn't
This
it?
is an
Do you
awful
think that Dome had an
whitelist.
ultimate and a shotgun? He'd finally be able to fight against scouts.
No, Demolin's ultimate would be laying all 8 stickies
Why are
fight
we-
there at once.
Is it?
Can we
How
be
much
productive?
marijuana has
Next
smoked today,
weapon.
Habib?
Is there like a formal vote that takes place after the
No,
discussion?
it's just the admins.
By the
have to
Yeah, I'm just
admins.
gonna take
decide.
I'm taking a list of items and then I'm just gonna give it to the. I'm
Did you
posting
talk
thread
about
and
the
let
cow
you guys figure it
mangler?
out.
Excellent.
Briefly, somebody just
I
said
think the
cow
cow
mangler.
mangler is the last one that's been controversial. I think.
Can we talk? I want to talk about the Machina.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk about the Machina then. Like,
Cool.
I think the Machina is a straight upgrade of stock in literally every single way. I know minus that 50 damage body shot probably seems like a lot, like compared to 173 collect damage. It's and it's
Yeah, I think the
really
Machina
annoying.
could be definitely argued to be banned.
I agree.
But then you
I
can't
don't
get
think so.
collateral and taunt.
The no scoping, like the fact that you can't no scope with it is so big when you're doing like 150 on a soldier that's jumping you.
Why not just scope it and just body shot him at that point?
Sorry, but I
You like
yeah,
that, man?
I think you killed it. I mean, I play sniper. You don't. That's why. That's probably why you want to ban the Machina. That's retarded.
Hey,
How's it retarded?
winner, winner,
retarded
winner,
to
winner,
ban
winner,
this weapon. It's
winner
not OP.
01
I don't-
I mean, I kind of
TSI.
agree. I don't want to ban it either, but you can make a
Winner
better argument that it's
Otzi.
retarded.
Thanks for the sub,
Because
man.
you want to ban
And Moose T-Show,
a
thanks
weapon that
for
you think
stopping by as a
is
new
OP, which is not.
viewer. This is not what I normally do.
I would be
This
fine
is
with
just
it
a
if it either if it
kind of
didn't do
once a
minus
year
173
meeting
and
about
collat at the same
TF2
time, but it does both.
that I am
So
participating
you get to
in.
do more damage.
But it's public, so everyone
in
gets to
more
kind of see what's
situation.
going on, which is
The
kind of
only
cool.
bad side is the
We're
body
deciding
shot,
the
which
future
only really
of our
matters. You range the
grassroots
headshot is
competitive
soldier and demo
scene right
man,
now.
and then at the same time, you're the only person that has the ability to do the finish them off of like a quick little body shot, which you could still do with a Maki. This guy scope in again, which really isn't that hard.
Making it sound way easier than it is.
It is not that hard.
I don't think we should ban the Machina.
Neither do I.
Okay,
But,
so then you think
Cow
of
Man.
being able to consistently like one shot most classes, or like a domain who's fully injured is gonna instantly die, or a scout completely buffed and he's just missing a slight amount of his buff, will instantly get one shot still.
I think most situations, well, but the thing is, I think the case that Nursey's trying to argue for is that in the standard usage of the item, the Machina will always outperform the sniper rifle, and the sniper rifle is already an extremely powerful weapon, I guess. That's essentially it. Like if you're sitting there,
a reason to ban it.
I think it's just like more damage, and then you got the collats on top of it for relatively no trade-off in reality is way too annoying.
I don't know. Maybe because I've never played against a great sniper recently, but I've never
Did we
noticed
ban
it
Sydney
really
Sleeper?
playing
It's
against
been
it.
banned
I only like it
already.
because of the
This is the current
potential
whitelist,
to meme.
and the Sydney Sleeper
Yeah,
is
I think it's a straight upgrade.
one
to
of only
stock
2 items
because
banned for
increased damage and
sniper.
then the call with it.
I mean, it clearly is, but
And
not what we're discussing. Really.
it
You
seems
gotta
that
remember
people
the
are
Galat
not
is
in
only when it's
favor
fully
of
charged,
unbanning
so
it
you
at
only
this
get that
time.
one shot. And like typically when like if I'm using it, I just use that to get a med drop or like force with the potential of that. Like you only do get that one shot.
You meant to subscribe
Do you
ages
think
ago,
you
but you just
should
got
be
around to
rewarded
it.
for that?
Awesome, man.
You
I'm
think
glad
that
you
adds
remember.
more to your gameplay?
You
I
think
don't think it adds more
crossbow?
to my
Well,
game.
you risk your life to go for like the hero shot.
Not risk your you can risk your life with like any of the sniper rifles, but like if you're just sitting at like if you're just sitting your spawn door, and then you just pretty much this default sniper rifle, doing what you do with this default sniper rifle, you got to do pretty much more damage and then potentially collat for literally no trade-off. I think is way too annoying.
I'm down with
Like
banning
it's just
it.
doing the same thing. It's better trade-offs. Like you got to do more damage and you collat. There's nothing you lose from switching to the Machina from the default sniper rifle. It doesn't add anything to sniper.
I would
But
say
that
that
doesn't matter.
the Machina, Rescue Ranger, Girardi, all those items could probably be safely rebanned, and now that we have experience with them, we could wait until they are changed based on our feedback from using them, and that would be a fine approach.
You're rather hopeful, aren't you? You think that Valve's actually going to change anything?
Yep.
Better to stay optimistic than constantly think that people dev your game is shit.
Like I'm taking part in this like with the assumption that nothing's going to change. That like the items will remain the way they are. Not
Well, I just argued
view
for
that they will be.
banning 3 items, so I don't know what you're arguing for then.
Well, I'm arguing the opposite, that this thing shouldn't be banned.
Okay. I've never heard anyone say that because they don't think Valve will make changes that everything should be unbanned. That's a new one.
I'm not saying everything should be unbanned, but in the cases that you're bringing up, I don't think all of these items need to be banned.
They don't necessarily need to, but it would be a safe thing to do. And because we've actually tested them, they could be banned and we could just wait for the changes based on our decision. Does it auto-mute you when you join? Yes, it does.
I don't know if anyone,
You have to
like,
be
everyone
like
else sees it that way.
permitted to
I
speak.
know I don't.
I mean,
Which weapons do I want to
I'm
ban?
for banning them, and I think
I
they
actually
never should have been
don't want to
unbanned,
ban
and I think Valve's not
anything
gonna
that's
change
legal.
anything.
I think they'll get changed. I just want them gone now that everyone understands what's dumb about them.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the global whitelist, is to unban what we can and then reevaluate based on what we have learned from playing with them. Without actually testing anything, it fails. So we've tested Rescue Ranger, Girardi, and Machina, and if we think that those aren't working, then we can take them out. But we'll also be unbanning some other things, so it's constantly going to be, there's still something new coming out of it. Will weapons be unbanned?
I feel like
Yeah, we've already
people
agreed to
wanna
unban
or ban Machina just because it's
Deloco's
annoying
Bar,
in certain situations.
Pomson.
That's not certain situation. It's literally every situation
I think
that is
Solemn
I notice it
Vow,
would be annoying. So the
Quick
50 damage body
Fix,
shot, it's
and Soda
way
Popper.
better.
I think all of these, like the
Not way,
Soda
but still
Popper,
definitely better.
Quick Fix, and Solemn
I
Vow
honestly
are on the
don't see how you guys
probation.
Can say, I don't even use the Machina, just to introduce. I don't see how you guys can say that the Machina is more OP than all these other weapons that you guys are suggesting or are controversially not, like, shouldn't be banned, because like the biggest reason, in my opinion, that Machina is dumb is in sniper versus sniper, where you literally have to be 185 or you just automatically should lose the fight. Sniper versus sniper, that is, because they can just body shot you before you see their head. But you guys are saying like the 173, like, okay, but the laser and the no scope are honestly way bigger than the 173 compared to 150. It's not very much, honestly, especially in sixes where demo isn't the
I'm
prime
skeptical about
player
this.
that's being healed. In Highlander, it matters because demo's health is so important that, but demo's health in sixes is not nearly as important, in my opinion. Exactly.
Do you?
So
wait,
if
do I
a
have
demo
someone
himself
muted?
doesn't matter, so it's okay for the demo to have less
Not
health.
nearly. Like demos is like the
You
prime
just said
class in
exactly
Highlander.
as if
In
someone
sixes, it's
spoke,
like
but I didn't hear
Nah.
anybody speak.
All right,
Prime
so
class
Scout is the prime class in sixes, and then the Scout
hell?
has to be at 185, or he's gonna die in a one shot, just like a sniper
That was
would.
weird.
Like, if the Scout's not constantly 185, he's missing just a little bit of a buff. He will die in one shot from the Machina.
I agree with that. The Scout, yeah.
And I think the Scouts, I think is what you mean is the more premier class of sixes, and that would happen to a Scout. Scout's health will matter. I think every class in every situation will always matter, but I really think that Machina is just the sniper rifle, but better, and the sniper rifle is already really good, and then you just make it better.
Because I think you're not doing that much damage with non-scope shots, right?
Well, it depends, because if you're just sniping at last or like trying to get a pick, I think the Machina is better. But if you like get a pick and you're pushing with your team,
Any big changes
like
so
the
far?
lasers and the
Yeah,
no-scope
so
thing are huge, in my opinion.
we've
Like, it
I
depends
think
on
decided
how much you play
Delocus
sniper.
Bar,
Depends on the situations where you play
Pomson,
sniper.
Quick Fix, Solemn
But yeah,
Vow,
I don't like it's
Soda
really
Popper
doesn't
would be
matter to me.
tried, and
Just my
currently we're
opinion of
trying
what
to
the
decide whether we will
benefits
be
and
banning Rescue
stuff are on
Ranger,
that weapon.
Well, you seem like you're siding more with the side that it
banning
shouldn't be banned, right?
Girardi,
I don't. I
and
was just like
maybe
saying like
banning
just 'cause, like,
Machina.
so it's up to the admins just so they know like more information about it. Honestly,
We haven't really talked
I'm
about Cow
indifferent about
Mangler
it.
yet. That's the one I want to talk about. But
It's not that.
I have a
confusing.
feeling it's going to
Like,
remain
let's be
as
real
it
here.
is.
Like, how
Yeah,
many
it doesn't
times have
make
you
that
seen?
much of a difference.
How many times have you seen like a double kill by Machina? And
I
like,
think that a
in the
lot
fir-
of what
yeah,
this
in the first place, like, why would your medic be like standing in the open? Like, have you ever told your medic like, oh, they have a sniper, hide behind me? Like, has that ever happened? You tell them to get a fucking cover, right?
No, not always.
I don't
Depends
know.
if you have to solve low.
I think
then,
the
you
cow.
know,
Have you
maybe.
talked about the cow mangler yet? Because I think that's
Not
also
yet.
quite a big issue.
We got
we're not-
diverted to the Machina discussion.
You should probably talk about the cow mangler because, like, again, it's like if you look at the weapon, it's a straight upgrade from the rocket launcher completely.
Was it allowed last season?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
How come-
currently
How
legal.
come people didn't use it then? If
They
it's an
did.
upgrade?
It was changed.
Damnation
Oh, it
uses
was
it, I
used
think.
this season, but it was recently changed to fix, I think, an unlisted reload nerf, I believe, something
Yeah.
like that.
It had
So
not even a full second extra
people
reload time.
people never used it because they believed that it was worse than the stock. But then when that was changed and it was legalized, people tried it again and they fell in love with it essentially. But people never really tried it.
Played against it. I've never played against it, so I guess I'll just not say anything about
The
it.
only downside to the weapon is that you can't damage buildings very much.
Yeah. So apart from last pushes, where they have a sentry, like if you just switch off it for the last push, there's not really a reason. Like there's like obviously, just the aesthetic reason of using like a rocket launcher that you've used forever rather than this like ugly looking laser weapon. But
They
if
removed
you
the slow
actually take
reload.
that away,
Yes,
the cow mangler is
exactly.
just a direct upgrade because there's
Ban
no
the
longer a need
airstrike.
to
The
ammo
airstrike has
manage,
zero
which means you
impact
stick
on
it on your
competitive
roamer,
TF2
and you never have
whatsoever.
that situation where the roamer needs to get ammo. They can stand this indefinitely watching somewhere and never have to worry about running out of ammo. And they also have a charge shot, which granted doesn't get used that much, but still, like, you could use it. I don't know. Like, I've never seen, like, in my experience, I've never seen anyone successfully do anything important. Like in pugs, maybe, but not in actual games.
I think cow mangler is similar to a crossbow in that it is overpowered, but people don't mind it as much.
I mean, yeah, like
I think people do. Though. I think people do mind it. I think there's quite a lot of people that don't like it being allowed.
Oh yeah.
I don't
It's
mind
like
They could use a
in a
slight
way,
nerf.
it's like a straight upgrade in a way, but it like it's not that.
It's a
big
straight
of an
upgrade only
upgrade.
because of the ammo. I think
Yeah.
I think if their reload thing was brought in, like remember the reload thing, it wasn't even a full second extra reload time when it had the reload bug with it. So like, I feel like if that ever came back, people would still use it. Now they know how good it is, but like it really doesn't feel that awful. You got infinite ammo.
They agree on Solemn
That's
Vow.
like
It lets them
that's
exceed the
really
health
it.
of
I guess the
enemies that
charge shot
become
too
a
is kind of
default melee
annoying.
instantly.
It
The
also
thing is,
makes
a lot of
this
those
game
things are
look a
theory
little bit,
crafted.
Space
cartoonish.
Overwatch.
Yeah, a little bit yeah.
Clown.
I
TF2
don't know what
does
the word
usually
I'm
look
looking
pretty
for.
realistic.
That's
doesn't-
the
it doesn't
worst
really make
argument
it
I've
look as
ever heard
serious,
for
you know?
banning a weapon.
I know,
Look
but
at
someone
Luxy.
mentioned it, and it was honestly
Oh.
like a pretty decent point because like you watch it and you're like, I don't know, man, this doesn't look like a very serious game to me. They're just spamming lasers across the map.
Why don't we give
said that
every
in the-
class? Why don't we give every class a laser weapon that has infinite
Every
ammo?
class is
How about
supposed to
that?
have a
Every
laser
class should
weapon.
wear a suit and tie, so they look professional.
Like I don't know whether it should be banned. I'm just going to put the arguments for what people have said to me that why it should be banned about being it just an
Discharge shot
upgrade
disable
and it gets rid
buildings?
of
Yes, it
ammo
does.
management, which is a very important part of the game.
That's fine, but then you can use that argument for other weapons like crossbow.
Yeah, but the crossbow, I mean, yeah, the crossbow is incredibly overpowered, but it's like it's so integral to the meta right now. Removing
It
it would be
speeds up the game so much.
like I would quit medic if I didn't have the crossbow. I'd
I
say
think
that.
I think crossbow is like a healthy crossbow is really overpowered, but I think it's more
It's skillful.
yeah,
It's
it's more a healthy it's like a more healthier in the sense of it does reward more skillful gameplay compared to like a Calminger or
Hope
something.
this ends soon.
I like how he'll just at this point just to like draw a parallel, and suddenly the two medic mates are shitting their pants.
I can play about the crossbow. I love the syringe gun, but
Oh, I don't like.
I've played
banned or
about the
not.
crossbow. I don't want to go back to those dark
I think
times.
the crossbow is a necessary evil in a way. It's like the one exception, or like gunboats as well. I think everyone is like fine with making these exceptions because they expand the skill of the class.
It's like the perfect unlock in a way. Like in my eyes, like it's if you're bad with it, you're going to be bad with it. It's not going to infect the game. But if you're really good with it, then you're going to affect the
Both
game a lot.
soldiers run
That's
Mangler,
what you
use the
want.
mini sentry. Yeah, definitely.
Skill
I think that
The
that should be
crossbow makes a
utilized way
massive
more.
impact on the game. Calmangler really doesn't, does it?
Not really.
Like I keep saying, it doesn't really matter if we ban it or not. So if it's annoying to people, then just ban it, just so I don't have to hear them complain about it.
I don't
But
know.
if
Like
it's a non-factor, so far we've approached those things as being legal. Things like
Yeah.
Eureka Effect or Southern Hospitality, like those things have zero impact on the game, so they're just allowed.
If it's overpowered, then there's no alternative to use it, then
I can only really think of one soldier in Prem that's actually used it, and it's damn easy. Out of the entire of last season, everyone else used the stock. So
And
even
you
with
used it
being
only
smart-
because of the memes.
It was
honestly.
it was really different
that's the
in
best
NA.
reason to use it.
Every NA
Hey Angus,
game
will I keep
had
streaming
at
after this?
least
Oh
two
yeah, I'm gonna be
soldiers running
streaming
it.
for a few
Like,
Oh, really?
hours
That's
after
just
this.
different.
Like, I woke up early
Interesting.
so I could
was because NAP
get myself ready to stream for
That's my
a
problem
long
with
time
Whitelist
today. I knew I had to do this, but I definitely want to play
argument
TF2
for,
today.
banning something, but then you use
But
the
this
same
just had to
criteria for
happen.
it for not banning something else. It's just why it's all a mess. At the end of the day, I just don't really mind too much what's banned and what isn't banned.
Like I don't have a strong opinion about that. I do about Jurati. All the others, like I don't really have a strong opinion on.
Hey,
Is that all of them then? Has we talked about all of them, or is there any more?
I think that's all, unless someone else has one.
Zerati, Makina, and Calmaker, so I want to talk about being banned.
Drati, Machina, and Calmangler.
And Rescue Ranger
Rescue.
was in that
Oh,
list.
yeah.
Rescue Ranger,
Rescue
yeah.
Ranger.
I don't know. I think that it was pretty split on Machina. Maybe even favoring like just leave it in.
Oh, we weren't saying banned. We were just saying what we talked about.
All right, fine.
Like that's what we're
I
saying.
feel like this guy used the Machina.
Like I don't think
I
a
just
single
get that
decision's been made
sense.
to ban anything in this Discord at the moment.
No.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is take this list. I'm gonna mark it as Drati ban, and Machina unban, Rescue Ranger ban, and
I think you should mark Machina as
What's the last
banned.
Wait, what? You want to ban Gerati?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Some
Lord.
people do.
what was the fourth
Alright.
one, Grant?
Calmaker?
So wait,
Calmangler
you're
ban.
going to take the list. Who are you giving the list to?
To
I'm
Valve?
gonna publish it on the forums. The OzFortress admins are not here, as far as I know.
What about Asia Fortress?
Unless
Are they
Obla's
here?
here.
Obla's here. He's online.
No.
I think people are not realizing
So
how
what I'm
good
gonna do
Natasha
is,
is.
Natasha.
Oh yeah. We did
How many
talk about
people have tried running it, like actually running it, like on last holds?
All the time.
When I
I
do
use
it,
it all the time.
it just feels fucking cheesy. Like like there's a lot of times where I live with like very low HP, or I get knocked down to like 50 health and then get crossbowed on top of damage resistance, on
another
top of the fact that I'm
another
invincible
reason
because I can
crossbow
walk
should
and
be banned.
spawn. Like
Well, it was banned for a very long time. and then they nerfed it, and then they allowed it because like, and yeah, it's still kind of annoying, but
New mentions.
It's not that game changing.
It's
like
not that game
I've
changing.
been
you have
mentioned.
Ghost of Running originally, right? That gives you this
Oh.
30% speed bonus, and that's like ridiculous. But then you have Eviction Notice, that's like it's like half the speed, and no one minds because it's so tiny. And then you have the what's it called? You have the damage reduction fist, the Fist of Steel. That's 40%. That's ridiculous. Like that kills an entire push. And then you have the Natasha, which is like you have to be under 50%.
We asked about quick
then you have
fix.
to
Yeah,
be
we
spun
talked about
up,
quick
and
fix.
then you get
I think
minus
we
20%.
Right, it only gives you
are
300. It
letting
gives
the
you
quick fix be
380
legal
effective,
for
or it gives you 480
a
effective
trial
health points
period.
instead of 450.
Like that's
But
there's
I
like
think
three
the slow is,
three items
I
that
think,
we
health
all
buff. It's
agree
like
should
30
be
extra
legal,
health, but I think
and
the
then
slow
there's
is just
three
crazy for,
items
like,
that
enemy teams try like into
are like on probation,
bigger
where we're
lasts.
gonna
Like
test them
it
and
does
then
less over range,
reevaluate
but like you can still
before the season
totally
actually
like
starts.
notice like scouts just getting like it looks like they're
slow down injured players.
I think it's just a scene thing because like I don't think anyone I don't know if I don't think we've ever used it. I'm not sure. Like it doesn't seem to be like that much of a deal. Like I've not
It's
really
not as
noticed the
impactful.
slowdown.
We just use it because it tilts people.
But
So we win the psychological warfare.
That's your entire team in a nutshell, Hildreth.
Yeah, win the psychological warfare, win the game.
I think it's a
But
pretty sick
you
unlock.
got
I use it
the
all the
game.
time, but I don't think it needs to be banned.
It doesn't need to be banned. It's not that impactful, in my opinion.
But the Cow Angler is.
No, it's not.
No, the Cow Angler
I
isn't. We
wasn't.
didn't say anything about that.
I wasn't
It's just-
against Commander.
Yeah, and again, that's just I think that brings up the point that you guys were bringing up earlier, which is that you know, we were just not consistent about what's impactable and what's not, what you're
Yeah.
banning based on annoyance and what's not. What we did with the first meeting was we actually didn't wrap it up in one meeting. We talked about it in one meeting, and then we actually came together in a second
So
meeting.
Whitelist
right
won't be
before
used
the
for
season
Esports
started,
Arena
just
though.
so that we could have some time to sleep on it and think it over.
I think it
We
would
talked to
be,
friends
yeah.
about it.
I think we decided that
I'm gonna
whatever
post this list, like I
form
said.
the global whitelist
And,
takes is what would be
ESCA for us,
used.
at least. I don't know when ETF2 starts, but
So those,
our league
but
doesn't start for
obviously it
15
can be
days.
revised within the
So-
week leading up to it.
It's like right now it's the tomorrow
think,
the Premiership playoffs start. So in a week the weeks will actually start.
You guys have a week.
Yeah, I was
So
watching
your
those
first
bad.
scheduled matches will start like the 20 something.
It'll be after LAN, surely, right, Minty?
Probably after LAN. I mean, I think LAN is a great place to talk about this too, you know, but
I
What do you mean
think
You
a
shouldn't
great
change
place to
anything
talk
until after it,
about
though.
I think we should wait until after LAN. Shouldn't
Yeah,
Yeah,
LAN
definitely.
is going to use the current whitelist, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
I think the
don't know.
LAN was said to use whatever the official global whitelist is at the time of the match. So if this gets set as official, it would be
I
used
don't
at that event.
think you should change it, even if it gets set as official between now and the LAN.
how about we do this? I'll do a really conservative one that just unbans the really safe stuff, and then for the most part, I'll leave it the same as it was for last season. So I'll leave the Draughty unbanned, like I'll leave the Muckin unbanned, and just keep relatively the same list. But the stuff that let's go down the list one more last time here for the last 10 minutes and really lock down what absolutely needs to change, and then we'll just go with a really conservative list for the LAN. Does that sound agreeable, guys?
Yeah,
Then
sure.
we'll play through it on that weekend, and then we'll come back, and then the admins can finalize their league list. So what I have right now is let me go through the list here.
All right, this is
I'm
the
gonna
end here, boys.
unban the soda popper.
Solemn Vow.
Oh yeah,
I'm going down the class list here. I'm banning the Rescue Ranger. Unbanning the Dolico's bar. Unbanning the quick fix. Banning the Machina. Banning the Draughty. And that's it. I think we'll leave the
Thompson,
Commangler in
I
there.
think.
The Thompson's unbanned
Yeah.
as well, right?
Well,
I'm gonna post this
think-
list just so that there's no confusion.
Did you have Solemn
Did you say
Vow in
you're
there?
banning?
Solemn Vow is banned.
Okay.
Did you say you're banning or unbanning the Machina?
Let me go through the list of banned weapons. That way it's clear. Bonk Atomic Punch, Criticola, Flying Guillotine. Actually, let me generate this list so that you guys can see it yourselves. I'm putting it in the channel.
Cool. Unban the Wrangler.
I'll
We
read
talked
it out
about it.
in case anyone can't
We
read
talked
it.
about Scottish
So,
Resistance.
Falcon
Scottish
Punch,
Resistance is
Criticola,
legal
Flying
and has
Guillotine,
no
Melt
impact on Team Fortress 2.
Atomizer, Sandman. Cow Mangler is unbanned. Sorry, I accidentally banned it. Disciplinary Action is banned. Rescue Ranger, Short Circuit, Wrangler, Buffalo Steak Sandwich, Fist of Steel, Gloves of Running Urgently, Machina, Sydney Sleeper, Darwin's Danger Shield, Girardi, Solemn Vow, Vita Saw, and a bunch of taunts.
All right, just to make sure, this is just for the LAN, right?
This is for this week,
from today.
essentially.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, sure.
we can still reevaluate this week, right? This is just like what everyone should be testing for the coming week.
Yeah.
And I definitely think it
Because-
should be like there should be another
Do you want to
meeting.
schedule a follow-up meeting on Thursday
Yeah.
or Friday?
Maybe
Yeah, let's do
Friday.
Thursday,
I
'cause
think. Yeah,
I think Friday would
can
be
we
good
try
'cause
Wednesday or Friday?
I think Friday is good
Because
because all the
Friday,
teams
most
would
I
be
know, like
together
at
at
least
LAN.
me, we're leaving to LAN.
I mean, the problem is that people have jobs and stuff during the week.
No, people are
so
gonna be at LAN on Friday.
Friday night. We
Yeah.
could do an in-person meeting, and then we'll just do it with the we'll do it with Sammy there, so she can make the call.
You should test
How
the
about
quick fix at LAN.
that?
So
Why is the
this
Solemn
week.
Vow
You guys should-
banned in
guys should
this
definitely
whitelist?
test
I
quick
thought
fix
we
this week.
agreed to unban the
They're
Solemn
throwing
Vow.
a more general safe of banning and unbanning.
Don't you think it's
You want to
fine
make it
Can you
even
contact
safer by keeping the
TSC?
quick fix ban and stuff like that?
I
Do you wanna do
can.
that
What do
way?
you need
I
to
think
talk
it'd be
to
safer to keep the
about?
quick fix ban
Yeah,
until
definitely.
for the LAN, at
Do
least
you guys
next week.
agree that it's fine to ban the weapons for LAN, but not unban them for LAN?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would
Um,
say if nothing else, keep the quick fix banned for LAN. 100%.
We should have this discussion with people
Well,
that are going to LAN, not like.
I mean, the only
pick everyone
unbans
who
we
aren't.
actually tackled were the
I
Thompson,
can't ban the PDA.
the Dolagos
It's fucked up.
bar, and the soda
still
popper.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
we
so
didn't unban the Solemn Vow.
I agree
Do
with
you want it?
not unbanning anything until LAN, but you could ban things.
Okay. So we'll leave the soda popper banned. We'll leave the Dolagos bar banned, and the Rescue Ranger unbanned. Or do you want to ban that? Like you want to keep the
anything
Thompson banned?
anything that was questionable ban, I think you should ban, and then anything that was questionable unban, just keep it unbanned, I guess.
That would mean Cow Mangler,
Okay, let's
Girardi,
get a final list here.
and Machina and Rescue Ranger would all be added to the ban list for this event, and then
Cow Mangler would be added. Okay.
then you would reconsider after the event the list that you had previously 6764. That one.
All right. Yep. So let me give you 6768, which is the final one.
Tell TSC to make the Pug
How does
whitelist the
he
ESA
agree to
whitelist.
try
Oh yeah, he
somehow
definitely should.
expand on the
Yeah, that's what
Well,
I'm saying.
we just talked about how we're not going to unban anything prior to
Yeah,
that.
like but this is the list after the LAN.
After the LAN, do you want
But
to
what
ban the
about
Solemn Vow?
what about the Natasha?
Should we?
You want to
I
ban the
think the
Natasha for the
general
LAN?
consensus was the Natasha was fine.
We're not banning Natasha.
I think it's
I thought it was
fine.
fine.
If you want to talk about
I
it
mean,
now.
you can for the LAN. Like I don't care about the LAN.
Yeah.
But
Basically,
think
leave
the
everything the
only issue
same.
here
Well,
is
the
that we're
problem
not
is
gonna
that
learn
it's
any
like
from the
a
LAN,
major
but
change
I do know that the LAN has
from.
like a pretty large prize pool for the scene, so
It's a major
I
change
want
for
to be
an
saying
event,
anything
and
about
it's
the
like
LAN,
last
some
minute.
last second strats.
It's
Yeah,
like a
exactly.
last second thing.
All right.
The timing is just really fucked up for this one
I think
event,
a
but I think
reasonable
people
thing
are
to
willing
do
to
would
test
be
things in
to
throughout a
at the
season.
LAN,
You know what I mean?
or whenever whoever's listening to this right now who isn't able to talk, thanks for guys for listening. Go talk to your friends about it. Talk on the forums about it. And this isn't the final list, right? Like, I think we went through 2 or 3 iterations before we published the first global whitelist. So, just let's talk about it, and then let's reconvene
Dude,
after the
it sucks
LAN.
that I haven't been able to
Though I
catch
know it's a
or
really
check my Steam
late amount of time.
messages.
I have an ETL2 admin here, do I?
You
Any
got
ETL2
Menti.
admin?
there's 3. Yeah.
Menti, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's your first day of gameplay? Is it the 23rd?
We're almost
You mean the
done,
main
and
season?
then I can play the game.
The main season is the 22nd.
The 22nd would be your first week of gameplay.
Yeah.
So you guys
Like
need a
week-
whitelist
1 week
defined
from
by
now.
the 22nd, and unfortunately, that'll be post LAN.
Well, ESCA is the same
Right.
timeline.
AC is on the same exact timeline.
Yeah, I think so.
So how are we going to come up with a decision for
Yeah,
the
'cause
regular
you guys need to
season
test. You guys need
without
to
seeing the
test
LAN?
stuff like, because I'm not
Yeah.
really that willing to unban stuff like quick fix.
Could do like a cup or something maybe.
I
Like a
think
1 day.
you're really traumatized.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
but-
timing of this makes it
The
almost
thing is that those
impossible to
cups
make
don't
a
really give
decision.
enough play, like enough people to play. I think getting them on the like on PugChamp or something would be more effective.
Yeah, that could be something. You speak to Aaron about.
Okay, I could propose a more experimental whitelist for PugChamp. Would you guys be willing to play on that in PugChamp
Yeah, that
for
could
a
be
week?
fun.
You have to have
leading to
their
the LAN?
admins on board with that, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
ask
ask
Aaron.
them.
Not hard to get a hold of.
So yeah, if you're doing that, just be really liberal and like try everything.
Okay, so let's have AIDS bugs for a week, and then the LAN will be really standard, and then we'll come back after that, and hopefully we'll have a great whitelist for the following season.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Great, thank you guys so much. Appreciate your time.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
That's
Have a
it.
good weekend, guys.
I guess
Happy
that's
Martin
it.
Luther King Jr. Day.
You too, Slyn.
All right. I guess that's it. So what was decided? What was decided then? What was decided was that for the next week, people will be testing this whitelist, which I can send you guys in chat, I think. Or actually, I think it. It might have. I think it had Rescue Ranger banned. I think there's gonna be a thread about it, but for the next week, we'll be testing. I think this whitelist. The key things to note are Soda Popper, Quick Fix, Thompson. I think Delocos Bar. Like those were the things that were unbanned. There were a couple other things that were cycled out, like Girardi, Machina, Rescue Ranger, Cow Mangler. So 4 out, 4 in, essentially is what happened. And we're going to test this for a week. But at LAN, we're going to go the opposite, where it's 4 out and 4 remain. The other 4 remain out. So it's like no experimental items, I think is what was decided. Like this. Unless there's one I'm forgetting. I think this is what the decision was. Yeah, I think this is it. So the LAN bans 4 additional items, I think is what they decided. But the thing is we have to get the admins of the actual tournament like to agree to this. But I think they will. So this was the decision, I suppose. And then after a week of testing this whitelist, we will reconvene and make a decision on whether any of these 4 additional new items are worth keeping banned.